Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot of time.
We're back in the saddle for the Fuel Grand National Series this evening as we stop in the first state for a star-studded dance with the Monster Mile. Hi, hello, and good evening, race fans. Welcome to Dover, Delaware, as we bring you into tonight's coverage of the 2026 Fuel All-Star Race, the preamble event for Season 9 of the Fuel Grand National Series. Live from the Dover Motor Speedway, once again, welcome everybody to tonight's Intercast on your home for the Fuel Racing League, the North American Sim Racing Network, up in the NESRN booth. My name is Trey Wright. It's a three-man booth here for the All-Star Race this evening, as I'm once again joined by the Colonel Caleb Rose and driver the number 29 Millennium Autosport automobile, Rich Roy. And guys, first and foremost, welcome back to Season 9. We are so excited to be right back at the top of the order here in the middle part of this season.
Definitely be glad to be back up here in the booth once again, and really excited to get another season of Grand National Series competition underway. And the atmosphere here heading into Season 9 is absolutely electric, especially here tonight from the Dover Motor Speedway here for the All-Star Race. Definitely got a lot of fun in store for tonight. Qualifying is going to be a lot different from the usual, so going to be very, very interesting to see how that ends up shaking out, and the race itself should definitely be quite fun as well. We always know Dover has quite the tedious racetrack, just to say the least, but it definitely produces some really fun racing. It'll be very exciting to see how this ends up panning out, but should definitely be a fun race to kick off season number 9 of the Fuel Grand National Series season.
It definitely is, and sorry to cut you off there, Rich, but it definitely is. I was just about to throw it to you to say, you know, this is your first time being up here in the NESRN booth, and you've raced this track several times before. I think the last time you were here, you got into a little bit of a shouting match with Landon Lyle after what some stuff happened to come down pit lane, but this track from a driver's perspective is one of the toughest that you're going to drive all season long. To have the All-Star Race here adds a little bit more of a challenge. And how excited are you to be up in the booth here watching?
First off, thank you for having me up here. It is a pleasure to be up here. Dover is a well, it's not the hardest track on the calendar, but it's also not called the Monster Mile for absolutely no reason. And on top of that, with this being an all-star race and a few differences from our regular format, I feel like we're going to have a lot of on-edge driving, which should be entertaining for us three up here in the booth.
It's definitely going to be a lot of on-edge driving, and like Caleb mentioned, we're going to be having a different style of qualifying here this evening as we'll go over our qualifying procedures for the 2026 Fuel All-Star Race. So basically how things are going to work, we do not have any heat races unlike what we did last year. So basically how things are going to work, as I'll pull up the official rules for me to read off of. But basically, in numerical order, we've got 14 cars in the server. So Tyler Stallhood would start off with qualifying, and drivers will be called up to the exit of the pit lane with that white line that Apollo High just went out as the pit road exit. And when they are commanded, drivers will be called up and exit the pit lane. The timing will start and they'll exit the pit lane. When the driver passes the start-finish line, the first time by pit lane, then the driver will enter, and there is no speed limit on the pit lane. Even though there's 35 miles an hour and it's a very tricky pit lane to get down, there's still no speed limit, so drivers are going to be right on the ragged edge trying to get into the pit lane. You have to take at least 2 tires. Failure to add tires will add a 1-minute penalty to your time. When the driver exits the pit lane, there's still no speed limit, so you're able to completely gas it out. And then when the driver takes the checkered flag at the start-finish line the next time around, timing will stop, and we will have a live graphic to show you where everybody is going to be. But overall, it's going to be, it's an interesting graphic. It's an interesting way to do qualifying, which that'll get underway here in the next few moments. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Like we said, we got 14 cars in the server so far. There's a look at the number 13 of Anthony Luckadoo in that high-time Chevrolet Camaro. But overall here, coming into this season, plenty of different number changes. We'll go over them during the individual qualifying runs. Plenty of old faces, plenty of new faces as well. New faces in new places, old faces in new places, and it's definitely going to be a fun one here tonight. And a celebration of the season so far here at the Dover Motor Speedway, at the night version of the Dover Motor Speedway. A fantastic rendition here tonight.
One thing I might add, pit road is slick, and so qualifying is going to be entertaining. I have a feeling most of our errors during qualifying will be entering and exiting pit lane.
It's definitely going to be a lot of fun, and it is very tricky to get down this pit lane. As Taylor Stolworthy didn't see it on the monitor, as we've got our brand new animated starting soon graphic up there. There's some new changes here for the next couple of months here on the NASRN. We're going to put up some new graphics, and we're going to be trying to do our hand at live graphics as well. But overall, Caleb, this is such a great, it's going to be a great season overall. We've got a wide variety of tracks. We'll get into the Season 9 regular schedule on the other side of qualifying. But, looking down the schedule, if you've got it in front of you, what are you looking forward to here in Season 9? And for both of you guys, for Rich especially from a driver's perspective, what are you looking forward to? What tracks are you kind of fearing? And overall, how excited are you guys here for Season 9, starting with you, Caleb?
There's definitely a lot of interesting tracks here on for Fuel Season 9. Like I said, Dover was definitely a track looking forward to off the jump, especially here for the All-Star race, with just how interesting this track is. Like you were talking about, it's very, very slick in some places, and other places it'll absolutely eat up your tires like cheese graters. So excited to see how this race will play out here tonight. And there's a lot of a lot of variety on the schedule as well. Of course, you got your cookie cutter ovals. Excuse me. Getting the schedule pulled up here in just a second. You got your cookie cutter ovals, like you've got Charlotte, you've got Chicagoland in there as well, but you also got a lot of interesting tracks as well. Long Beach is definitely going to be a very, very interesting addition. That's going to be a very interesting race here to play out. Not seen many street races here on NR2003, so online nonetheless either. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Bent Twig as well. That's going to be a fascinating race. Bent Twig is honestly quite the racetrack, if I do say so, but definitely going to be interesting to see how that goes. Anchorage as well. You got North Wilkesboro on here, Indianapolis, and the season concluding at the Iowa Speedway. A lot of interesting tracks here on the schedule, and it's going to be interesting to see how all those do end up playing out. But if I did have to pick one, Long Beach especially definitely catches my eye. You know how tricky and tedious that track can be, just how precise you need to be to keep the cars out of the wall at a track such as that. So there's one race I'm looking forward to. That's probably it, but still, all these racetracks definitely have a lot to hold, so it's going to be very, very fun to see how this season does end up playing out with all these exciting venues.
It's going to be pretty fun, as Tyler Stallhood is going to line up here at the starting line. And we'll put down his lap time here. You can see our live graphic up there with Stallhood getting ready to peel out here just at any moment. But Rich, like we were talking about from a driver's perspective, this is a very diverse schedule. You've got your realistic tracks. You've got a lot of variety and a very robust schedule. And, from just that driver's perspective, what are you looking forward to?
Personally, as someone who, I don't want to call myself a super speedway merchant, but a super speedway merchant,
Connection lost.
Damn it.
Error.
Oh, you gotta
Error.
be kidding me. Really?
Down the
Connected.
pit lane right here. This is where it'll get a bit interesting as he almost loses it, but he keeps it straight. We always seem to know Tyler for his great saves, and that was another one to add to the book there as he pulls into his pit stall. That could have definitely been a bit disastrous. We've always seen it, this kind of all-star qualifying format. We've seen some crazy moments. Hey, Kyle Larson completely just drove through his pit box that one year when NASCAR did this format. But aside from that, a good stop from Tyler Stallhood. Managed to keep the car straight, and he's back out, looking to try and finish what is so far looking like a pretty solid time here in All-Star Quali.
As we mentioned, some new teams, new faces and places. Styler is now driving for Lap Car Enterprises. So a bit of a different look for the league admin.
Certainly a different look as well, as we apologize, had some technical difficulties on our part of things, as we'll see what Stallhood's time is going to be once it's put into the system here. Looks like it was a pretty good time. Of course, my internet, at least one of my internet browser I've got in my house, unfortunately decided to detonate right as Tyler was going through turns 3 and 4, so didn't get to see that great save we were talking about, as Stallhood's going to go to the top of the charts with a 92.87. And Blake Warren will jump out here as well in the cystic fibrosis number 8 machine. And looks like we may have a little bit of a false start there for that Chevy Camaro. And Blake will get out and away. Anthony Luckadoo will be right behind him as well. Currently, right now, the time to beat is going to be 92.87. So we get everything calibrated there live. And of course, Blake Warren going back to the old school Dale Earnhardt Jr. number and that beautiful Junior Motorsports number 8 machine with that DEI font. Drove the 12 car last year. And here he is to start his lap there in that beautiful Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month here car. He'll be racing that for the majority of the races here in the month of May. And of course, he will be the main sponsor of the race at the Charlotte Motor Speedway next week for the season opener, as he's trying to dive down into the pit lane. A little bit wide. Oh, he's going to tap the wall coming out of 4. Can he make his pit stall? I believe he is. No, just scooting a little bit there. And one of the things I really don't like as... Oh, don't tell me we just disconnected again. I'm not sure if that's just on my end or...
I think, aborted the run.
So that will drop Blake Warren down to a DQ. And a tough break for him. That's a tough break because we weren't exactly to see live whether he made his pit stall or not. Because once you get bounced out of the server, that's unfortunately going to take away your sight of the pit boxes, as Anthony Luckadoo out there in this high times 13 Chevrolet Camaro. And he'll be waiting for the command to go here.
I believe this is Luckadoo's first fuel GNS attempt. He did run the sportsman race at Fuji a few weeks ago.
And not a great start. He already got into the outside wall. We'll see if he'll abort this run, but he's going to remain strong. Stallhood, and it looks like Luckadoo's also going to get bopped there with a DQ. So not the best starts for a couple of these guys, as Luckadoo will most likely be starting in 15th. So we've got one successful time so far, still 92.87, the time to beat, set by Tyler Stallhood. And here comes Kenny Campos, and away goes Kenny in the number 18 machine, the Yardley Firestone automobile. This is probably, what, the 4th or 5th different number that we've seen Kenny Campos run here in the last couple of years. If there's one thing that Kenny loves to do, it's swap out his number pretty much every 6 or 7 or so races. It really keeps us on our toes here on the broadcast. And this time he'll be at the start-finish line. He's going to be taking a good run here.
Campos has gotten faster and faster as a competitor over the last few seasons. I wouldn't be surprised if he sneaks a win in at the end of this season, if not end of the year.
Yeah, Kenny has gotten really good. Not good there on the pit road entry, and that might be our third consecutive DQ.
He might be fine. I think he might just get a minute added to his time if I read the rules correctly.
I believe so. Which, I mean, theoretically, if you don't come down the pit lane, if you get a minute out of your time, because these guys probably running... no, he's just going to come down the pit lane again. And that's not the entrance that he wanted there, so that is going to heavily affect his run already at minute 20 right now, and it looks like that will be another DQ. And it will be, so not the best of starts for these competitors here. At least it makes our job with the graphic a little bit easier, where instead of writing down numbers, we can just write DQ, 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 but that's, of course, something we don't want to see. But here's RJ Bishop and the ally, Jimmy Johnson, throwback, and that number 48 machine. He's already burning the rubber, and he is out and away. A little bit of a slow start coming off of the jump. But RJ Caleb is another guy who has really developed a lot here over these last couple of seasons. He jumped over to Warren Wentz Racing last season, got that win on the Daytona back straightaway. And he has been up there. He was fighting with Emi Schizzato for that podium in the season 9 point standing. So RJ definitely has got a lot of experience, and he is a driver that loves these type of short tracks, these flat short tracks. Although Dover is not necessarily a flat track, but RJ is going to be definitely one to look out for. Comes down the pit lane, perfect pit entry there. A little bit wide, but he's able to hold on to it. Checking up, checking up. Does he get into his pit stall? Just a little bit shy.
He is in.
So already at 1 minute there. Time to beat is 1 minute 32.87. And he is out and away, and he is going to need a flyer of a lap to get around. He's got 12 seconds to get back around to best Tyler Stallhood's time. And this might be, it's not going to be that close. He's got 2 seconds, and the way I'm timing things right now, looks like it's going to be about a 95.66. It might be a little bit shorter. But that was a pretty good run there out of RJ. A little bit, he definitely lost a lot of time on those miscues on the pit lane. And a 96.96, so a little bit slower than we thought. And that'll bring up Trek Togger. And RJ Bishop will move up to second.
Trek Togger with the new manufacturer this season, Lycoya.
So a 96.96 doesn't get any more even than that from RJ Bishop. Makes sense that, 96 is on the board. When your car number is 48, you add a couple of 48s together and you get 96. So it doesn't get better than that. Already 25 seconds on the board here for Trek. And, like you, Rich, he's kind of been that super speedway merchant over these last couple of seasons. But, again, he has also come really into his own, particularly on the sportsman side of things. Ooh, sliding into the pit lane, a pretty good save.
Trek has been becoming more of a formidable opponent as at least to me, as the seasons go on. Very good defensive driver, probably the best this league has seen in a while as he overshoots its box a tad.
Just a little bit, and he was just trying to just baby it in there. Already at 1 minute on this 60 car. Taking 2 tires. And that's really going to be a point of contention for all these guys, is coming down the pit lane. just trying to squeeze into your pit stall. You go back to the All-Star qualifying we saw a couple of years ago. You were mentioning it a little bit earlier, Rich, how it's very hard to squeeze into your pit stall. It's hard enough to get down the pit lane, but when you're traveling at the rate of speed that these guys are traveling at right now, as looks like Togger's going to go to third with about a 97.66 second time.
Yeah, on top of that, Dover, as it's already a tough track as it is, it's not called the Monster Mile for nothing. So you're trying to get down to a pit road which has a barrier in the way. So if you, say, miss the commitment line, you better hope you miss the wall, as we've seen in years past, both in this league and in the real world, as Crystal Bennett is making her lap time.
Bennett there on the 84, and it's been a long time since we've seen this Mike Skinner throwback here. Typically running the Mark Martin 84 car throwback for pretty much all season long, and last season was definitely a very tough one after coming off that one win at the Talladega Superspeedway back in season 7, as she's going to slide and misses the pit lane completely. Trying to back it up and trying to salvage something, because this is going to be really a point of contention for a lot of these drivers, like we said. And she's going to be pitting. She's got that first pit stall on the pit lane. So trying to put 2 tires on that 84 car, and she'll be out and away. But last season was certainly a struggle. Didn't complete all the races, and certainly the results that she got didn't really speak to just how well she was running a lot last year, Rich. Had a lot of technical difficulties. You go back to that race at the Pensacola Roval, where, pretty much the whole screen polygon there for that 84 car. And unfortunately, wasn't able to get the job done. But doing a pretty good job here. Not going to quite be the pole, but right now I believe she's going to go up to 4th. We'll see what the official time will be. But a pretty good recovery, all things considered, after missing the pit lane. That's going to be the great equalizer for these drivers here tonight.
I think if Bennett gets a bit more luck, she'll be up fighting with Vincenzo and Apollo Hyde. And when Dunn shows up, Dunn as well. Just a bit more luck will be needed for the 84 car, which is unfortunate. She's a great driver, and you can't really fight technical issues on. So that's unfortunate. Official time is a 101.74.
Just barely being beat out there by Trek Togger, as Ike Durbin's going to come out here for his time. And we'll see where Ike will run.
Another driver that I think needs a 4-leaf clover in his pocket.
Oh, he needs about a 5 or 6 leaf clover, because this man has had so many good runs, but unfortunately, a lot of the times they have gone down the tubes. And you go back, I was talking about it with him during the last race we had for the Sportsman Series, just that Canandaigua race where he was in contention right until the very end. He is a dirt track specialist, and while I don't believe we have any dirt tracks on the schedule per se, as he's going to spin, coming down the pit lane. I don't think we do.
No, I don't think so either, but he just missed pit in.
And that's going to cost him a lot of time. But looking over the schedule here, probably the most oddball place we've got is probably a back-to-back on the June 17th and 24th, when we go from the streets of Long Beach to Bent Twig.
Here comes Ike again, making pit lane this time. Bent Twig is going to be interesting. I have a feeling we're going to, I don't want to say a smash fest, but it's going to be a tight race, similar to what we saw at the alley, as Ike also, actually no, Ike did make his pit stall.
So he's going to slide in. Perfect pit entry there for the 86. And that will cost him quite a bit of time here. Looks like we're going to get Randall Coleman in the server here tonight. He's not going to be able to qualify, but he will get in via the provisional. I'm curious to see what number he's going to be running. And at the line for Ike, we'll see what the official time will be here in just a moment.
124 seconds, 0.45. That puts him last as things stand.
So 2 minutes and 4 seconds, 0.45 seconds, and that will put him currently in 5th. Right now is Blake Warren, Anthony Luckadoo, Kenny Campos, and Randall Coleman have got some provisionals here. Trying to see what number Randall Coleman would be running here tonight. I believe it would probably be 9. I don't actually, you know what, that's a very good question.
If Anthony doesn't show up, then I think it would be 9.
We'll put him on there anyway, but Corbin, and then again,
Oh.
that pit entry has been killing everybody here this evening. Again, you're just trying to downshift after, you know, you're going flat out underneath the M&M's bridge. And after that, you know, you're just trying to downshift to maybe, you know, maybe 55 miles an hour, and he's pretty good recovery, getting back into the pits. Is he able to get into his stall?
Yes,
And he
is.
will, so that's going to be a lot of time saved for him. So this could be a good run here for this 88 program.
Part of me wonders if it'd be easier if you're backing off and getting on the apron as early as turn 3. I know there isn't a speed limit or pit speed limit in qualifying, but for race time, I wonder how many people will be doing it. That's what I did in our start here a few seasons ago. But obviously that was with a speed limit and not flat out trying to make it into the pits as fast as humanly possible.
Well, he's going to be rocketing around. We'll see what his lap time will be. I believe that should be good enough for maybe 3rd.
That, if it is, that'd be incredible, including if we take account for the spin.
A great recovery for Corbin in that
Yes.
88 machine. And that
Actually,
will
that'll
put
be
him up to 5th, I
4th.
believe.
Yep, you're right. 5th, my bad. 106 seconds.
So that will bump him ahead of Ike Durbin. And Emmy Schizzato, one of the hottest prospect drivers, will now take her time.
I'm going to compare her to SPG for a second. She is very quick on the road courses, and she is picking up this oval stuff fast.
Oh, she definitely is.
We had a battle at Las Vegas last season, as she tags the wall entering 1, and she was very hard to keep behind.
Yeah, she's definitely figured out this oval stuff a lot. She's doesn't have a Grand National points paying win just yet. Trying to keep the car straight, and she will.
Perfect.
Perfect pit entry there for that Red Bull 97. Now the only next question is she gonna be able to get in her pit stall in time? Downshifting, approaching that 4th pit stall, 3rd pit stall, I should say, and that's perfect as well. This could be the makings of a potential pole-winning run here for this 97 car.
Depends on our pit exit. That's going to be the biggest point here. Looks pretty well.
Yeah, out and away goes this 97 machine. We'll see what the time will be. Last lap was 26:13. We'll see what will be added on to that as she crosses the start-finish line. It's Joshua Mercurio lining up for the last of the drivers that need to race their way in. And a 96.96. That will put her in a tie with RJ Bishop. And we'll have to see. It looks like RJ is going to be getting the tiebreaker on that right down to the last 10th of a second. Doesn't get any closer than that there, Rich.
Yeah. I got nothing for that.
So that will bump everybody down as Joshua Mercurio out on track. First time we've seen his name here in the Fuel Racing League in quite some time, driving that 99 machine. Another beautiful paint scheme painted by none other than Blake Warren, and another driver added to the Warren Wentz Racing staple, going to be part of that Warhorse Racing program here in 2026, if I'm not mistaken.
That would be what, 8 cars across the 2 teams?
Something along that they are definitely building up quite the resume for Blake Warren's program. I don't think Grant Warren's going to be racing here tonight, but Corbin Wentz is here. Of course, Joshua Mercurio is racing as well. We can actually see Mercurio's pit stall. He slides in. Perfect entry. And this could be another really good run brewing here for Mercurio.
I know there's been a lot of talk about Millennium Autosports being the super team of the league. I would honestly put the 2 WWR teams and the Warhorse Racing team as the next super team, considering we, on average, field 3 cars a race, and they're fielding, on average, 5 or 6 of them. Dare I say 6, 7 of them, but...
Well, here we go at the line. Mercurio. We'll see what time it will be for the 99.
Pole!
Puts it on the pole as of right now with a 90. Full 2 seconds faster than Tyler Stallhood to put Joshua Mercurio on the pole position for right now. And now we'll get into the drivers that are currently locked in, or will we? I believe we should have qualifying.
We still have Apollo, Taylor, and maybe Drew to go. Drew Fast did join the server in the middle of qualifying, as Apollo has disconnected for a second.
How about that? A 130.33. Top of the charts there for Mercurio, and that is the gold standard for what we're going to expect from a lot of these guys here tonight.
Mercurio is a front runner in Maverick, if I am recalling correctly. So, very good driver, and a very good driver. I think he was one of the few that was able to keep a flame to Zach Rogers when he ran over there.
Well, keeping any flame to Zach Rogers is certainly an achievement in itself, but here comes the defending series champion. Apollo Hyde was able to take that mark away from Zach Rogers. And the Idol Gateway LGBTQ Appreciation number 100 machine. I love everything about this car, Rich, except for one thing, and it is those rims. It has given me PTSD from owning a Mac and having the web page crashing pinwheels.
Yeah.
It certainly looks it looks like the RGB colors you've got on my computer right now. As Hyde with a 25-second lap on her outlap. Apollo, she has been so good over these last couple of seasons, Caleb. She's been in the title contention for the last 3 seasons, or the last 4 seasons, has won 3 of the last 4. Beautiful entry. Oh, she's going to spin. She will.
No.
And the defending champion backs it into both pit walls. Great recovery, though.
Just get back going. You're good. You're good.
And immediately getting back in the saddle.
Skipping pit lane, that might be a minute added to her
That will
time.
be a minute. She's currently at 2 minutes right now. You know, for Apollo, qualifying really doesn't matter. We've seen her drive from the back to the front so many different times. And it looks like she indeed will come back down the pit lane already at 120. So...
well, she completely missed her pit stall. That's where her stall is.
So I didn't realize her pit stall was all the way back there as well. And putting that 100 car back out already at a minute 37. So this is going to be, it's probably easily going to put this 100 car towards the bottom of the barrel already at a 140.
So how long do we give it before she takes the lead then?
I give it probably maybe about 20 laps.
I give it I give it 20 seconds.
Probably they might wad them all up there coming out of the corner. And Hyde at the line about a 2 minute, 6.67 seconds on my end. And that's just going to barely put her behind Ike Durbin. It's actually going to be a 2 minute and 5 second time. We'll still put her behind the 100 machine, the 86 machine, I should say. But again, qualifying really doesn't matter, particularly at a track like Dover. And Taylor Stallwether will jump in a newly renumbered 101 car. We'll see what he's able to do out on track.
Now we were talking about me and Shrek being super speedway merchants. Taylor is, I don't want to call Taylor one, but they are really good at super speedways.
Super speedways and dirt tracks, two of the most interesting tracks that we go to in terms of discipline. And already on their outlap, booking it a lot. With 9 drivers that have put down a lap so far. Currently have a handful to go. We got Randall Coleman, who's taking the provisional. We got Drew Fast, and we got, I don't believe Vincenzo Focasato is going to be here tonight. I didn't see him.
Yeah, Vince won't be here tonight.
So is anybody from Millennium Autosport representing the team here tonight is my question.
Ike.
Oh yeah, Ike Durbin is here. I forgot Ike was here for a brief moment in time as Taylor is going to spin the 100 car past his pit stall, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time as well. He's still just trying to fidget in there, so that's going to set him pretty behind the 8 ball.
We do have an update on Randall Coleman's number, car number 17.
Alrighty. So we have that information at least. I'm hoping as that was not the pit exit that Taylor wanted.
Barely held on to it there, but still going. We'll have to see what this ends up being here at the line.
We'll see what it is. Already up to 143. Just about loses it off the corner. And should be about a 145. So a fairly decent recovery. That should probably put him right now in the 7th spot on track. And it looks like it will. Or it'll put him up to 6, I believe. No, it'll put him in 7th. Finally, that'll bring out, it's going to be Drew Fast in the 318. And I believe he's in the wrong car coming into things right now. He should be in the Valvoline number 4.
Another new entry for Lap Car Enterprises.
Yeah, they're certainly adding a lot to their stable as well. And it's a pretty big arms race here for a lot of these teams this season, guys.
It's kind of fun seeing all these new teams popping in left and right. A lot of new alliances are brewing and definitely could lead down some really fun paths as well, or sometimes it can go wrong as well. Just thinking back to Dior Season 3, but I know Paul probably doesn't want me to talk too much about that, but still, it's definitely really fun seeing all these teams pop up. It's going to be interesting to see how they play out as the season does end up going along, but interesting to see how this lap goes along here for Drew Fast coming down the back straightaway, getting ready to dive down the pit lane right here.
A bit tail happy, but
oh my lord! Oh, just barely. Oh, that was sick. That was sick until it wasn't. Oh my lord, that was one of the craziest drifts that we've seen here. And it looks like we are going to be getting a couple of drivers. So Blake Warren, Anthony Luckadoo, and Kenny Campos will, in fact, be getting do-overs once everybody will cycle about. Pretty good pit stop there for the 4 of Fast. He is out and away. And again, Drew has been another guy who has really shown up a lot here. Who's really shown a lot of his stuff and shown a lot of his talent over the last couple of years. He's another driver that's come over from the Fast Racing League. And this time around, running a 147. This should put him firmly in the 8th spot with about a 150.61.
Drew's another one of those people. If he gets a bit more luck, he will win more. I don't remember if he's won here yet. I want to say he has, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
I do not believe that he has won a 111.83. And we'll put Blake Warren back out, and he will get another chance to try and get some stuff going here, as Randall Coleman is going to be the only driver that'll get in via the provisional. So I believe we should only have a 15-car field here for tonight, guys. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is, with the amount of talent that we've got, it's certainly going to be a fun one here to see just the amount, just the talent that we've got on display. Of course, you know, we haven't seen Randall Coleman or Anthony Luckadoo, race here in Fuel yet, at least since I've been calling races over the last year, as Blake, really good entrance into the pit lane.
I will say, you're going to love this, but you have to download the 17 car.
Of course. Oh, lordy. Hopefully happy hour's 10 minutes.
Out and away goes the 8. That was a very clean stop there.
This might be a pole run.
This could be. Right now at 115, Mercurio was running, he's ran a 130. This could be very close here. He's got 5 seconds. 130.33 is the pole time. It's going to come right down to the wire. And on my end, it's a 131.43. That should be good enough for second or third. And what is it going to be will be the question. I believe it's going to be a 93.96. That will slingshot Blake Warren up into the 3rd spot.
Maybe without a certain 29 car hitting him on a daily basis, he might actually win this thing.
So that will put Blake Warren on the inside of row number 2 with a fantastic run on his do-over, and it'll bring Anthony Luckadoo back up here into the fold, and we'll see what Luckadoo was able to do. Already a better run than he had that last time by.
Nice looking car. I'm a sucker for black and green cars as he tags the turn 4 wall.
He's tagged it a little bit. No harm, no foul. We'll have Kenny Campos in the 18 do a do-over lap as well, and I believe that should fill out the 15-car field. We'll see how Luckadoo is able to get down the pit lane. He was looking conservative, and he's still going to slide it. He's able to keep it straight.
He catches it.
Much better save out of that 13 Chevrolet this time around. And he will go into his pit stall towards the pits, just trying to gingerly get there. And he will indeed get there in time. Going to have to back up a little bit. That'll cost him some precious time. But I believe right now he could be looking at maybe a top 5, top 10 run here, or a top 5, maybe top 6 or 7 run. After keeping under control coming into the pit area and getting into his pit stall relatively efficiently. I wouldn't be surprised to see him bump down a lot of drivers. Ooh, sliding the back end out. Can he save it? He's able to miss the wall. not able to keep the car pointed in the right direction. Come on, straighten out. You got it. You got it. You got it.
There he goes.
Alrighty.
Go.
And that's how you get out of the turn 4 wall.
And he will cross the line, and I believe that should put Licado maybe in 13th of 126. So that will put him just behind Apollo Hyde.
He didn't spin. He's looking at top 10. Sorry to cut you off there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I'll bring in Kenny Campos here for the final driver looking to qualify. We'll see what this 18 car can do. Kenny waiting for his start, and there he goes. Pole time to beat is a 1:30.33 set by the 99 of Joshua Mercurio. And we'll see how Kenny is able to run. Getting down that pit lane is going to be the most crucial part, and if Kenny is able to get down and get into his pit stall effectively, he could be giving Mercurio a run for his money for this pole position. Down on the high side. Just got to set up to get down the pit lane effectively. You just don't want to make any mistake. He's trying to gingerly get down, keeping it straight, back end, peeking out a little bit. All right, step number 1 done. Find his pit stall, trying to get in. Did he get in effectively? He did.
Yes, he did.
And all you got to do, you just got to get around here one more time. This could be a good run, Bruin. I'm not sure if it's going to be a pole run, but he could certainly be looking at a top 5 start right now, currently at 113. Trying to grab a gear. Not sure if he's going to get around in the next 10 seconds, and it looks like Joshua Mercurio will lead the field to the green flag in the 2026 Fuel All-Star Race. Kenny off the final corner, and about a 1:35 that should put him in 4th for the All-Star Race here tonight. And I believe it should. I've got 1:35.29 on my monitor. And it will. Another, oh my God.
Oh, we have a
three-way tie for 4th between RJ Bishop, Emmy Schizzato, and Kenny Campos. It doesn't get any crazier than that. And we might be having a tiebreaker here.
I say have him do it again.
Well, we'll see.
How about that?
It doesn't get that. That is the Fuel Racing League at peak performance, ladies and gentlemen.
You wanted the best, we got the best.
Whew. And we'll see if we will indeed get a tiebreaker here, or if we will immediately just go here into happy hour. I believe, you know, we've got 45 minutes left here in practice. We might as well try and get a 3-way tie broken up here, because the way things run right now, I believe if it would go to the tiebreaker, which is based on points, and it looks like we are just going to be going out of here.
If movies told me anything, I'd say just take the 3 of them and turn them loose at the Auto Club Speedway.
Well, that is solid precedent, but the way it is right now, I believe, of the 15 car, I believe the way it should be is that Emmy Schizzato, because I'm trying to remember who finished ahead in the points. I believe it was Emmy Schizzato who finished ahead of RJ Bishop. I know Kenny Campos finished the lowest of those drivers. Ike Durbin's out and away. We'll get a little bit of time here in practice, I believe. And we'll go ahead and check to see what everything is likely going to be, but I believe this should be a good baseline startup. So I believe, actually no, RJ Bishop is going to be starting ahead of Emmy Schizato. And I believe Kenny Campos is going to remain there. So this will be the official starting lineup here for tonight on your screen. And we'll keep it on there. We'll see, is Randall Coleman, like you said, Randall Coleman's car has not been downloaded yet, so we're going to go ahead and do that right here and right now while we have the chance. How about Joshua Mercurio taking that pole time late here in qualifying? He's going to sit on the pole here for the 2026 All-Star race, guys.
Can't say I'm surprised. He is fast wherever he shows up. So that's a new challenger for Apollo, and when actually Apollo, Tyler, and anyone else who wants to have a chance at whatever the prize is tonight.
We'll see specifically what the prize will indeed be as we put the 17 car into. Come on, we put it into the game. We don't want to put it in where the images are. Come on, we know where to put a car file, Trey. This is not that hard. There we go. Looks like it's just going to be running the stock Corey Day scheme as we will pop back into the server here.
Fortunately, Mercurio has, I think, definitely more talent than Corey Day does.
I think we can all agree on that, trying to see where this 17 car is. I don't see him out on track yet with about 3 minutes to go here before we'll get underway. But this is shaping up to be a really fun race, as it always is, with 3 minutes to go here in happy hour. There is the starting lineup on your screen officially. Joshua Mercurio and Tyler Stallhood will be starting in row number 1. Blake Warren and RJ Bishop will be row 2. Emmy Schizato and Kenny Campos will be in row 3. Trek Togger and Crystal Bennett, row 4. Corbin Wentz and Taylor Stolworthy will be row 5. You got Drew Fast and Ike Durbin will be row 6. Apollo Hyde and Anthony Luckadoo will be row 7. Starting on the inside in row number 8 looks to be Randall Coleman in the number 17 machine for Corey Day. It's shaping up to be a good one here.
Qualifying told us anything. This track is definitely quite the loose one, and definitely going to be a challenge for these guys here tonight. Miles the Monster definitely seeming quite hungry here tonight, so definitely think we're in here for a fun one here for the All-Star race.
We definitely are, and sorry to cut you off there, Rich.
From past experiences, turn 2 is going to be a trouble spot. Turn 4 definitely going to be a trouble spot, especially if when we have cars trying to get in the pit lane. And if we get a long green flag run, and turn 3 is also going to be fun.
Just realized, don't even have Joshua Mercurio's number in the into the system yet, so we'll officially put that in there, and we should be good to go in that department now. We should have just about everybody's number. There's that 17 machine out on track. Set our free cam, onboard cam up as well while we've got the moment. But now with about a minute to go here in happy hour before we'll get things underway, this is going to be one of the longest races we've got of the season. 100 miles here for the All-Star race. And of course, you know, this is a very treacherous track to get around. 24 degrees in the banking, a banking in the corners, and of course it's concrete, which makes this track very, very treacherous to get around. And we'll be seeing these guys maybe making 2 stops here tonight if this race goes green. And if it does, which I'm not sure if it will, but if it goes green, that's going to make things very interesting in terms of the pit strategy at the end here, guys. And of course, Dover, it's your run-of-the-mill oval, but there is nothing run-of-the-mill like it. 4 corners, that pit entry is going to be so dangerous here tonight. And we can't wait to set 15 cars, 15 of the best automobiles out and away here this evening. And what a way to open up season number 9 of the Fuel Grand National Series. Guys, what are we looking forward to here tonight?
Well, there's a lot of things. We got the best drivers, some of the best drivers in sim racing on NR, all in one spot, and a track like Dover that really shows talent. I have a feeling we're gonna see a very good battle for the lead tonight, if not
I couldn't
throughout the
agree
entire
with
race.
Rich more. I can't
Sorry.
agree with you more, dude. Sorry about that, but yeah, I can't agree with you more. We got, well, as I guess the race name implies, a roster full of stars here tonight, and especially at a treacherous track such as this. It's definitely going to make for some very interesting racing. And at a track like this, I would definitely expect the cream to kind of rise to the top as this race does go along. But of course, still, with just the nature of both indoor online racing and a track such as this in general, we could definitely still see quite a lot of chaos brewing as well, like we are seeing here in practice as somebody just got launched into the stratosphere right before we cut to the race. But definitely think we are in for a fun one here tonight. Got 100 laps of racing ahead of us. It'll be interesting to see how it all ends up shaking out.
And it's going to be fun. We got 15 cars in the server, and looks like, are we going to restart happy hour here real quick? I believe we might. Or are we? It looks like we are going to restart happy hour, I guess. I was just changing the graph. You know what? I guarantee you, the second we change this graphic back to show when happy hour is up, they're going to... I don't know.
Tyler forgot to run the checker, or the black flag clear, so that's probably the hold up.
There we go. Alrighty. Gotta run the scripts. There we go. Scripts have been run, so we'll get one more crack here in happy hour. Hard to believe we've already been broadcasting for an hour here tonight for tonight's Intercast, and we thank everybody for tuning in once again here. Welcome to the 2026 Fuel All-Star Race at the Dover Motor Speedway here on the North American Sim Racing Network, your home for the Fuel Grand National Series and the Fuel Racing League in general. My name is Trey Wright. I'll be bringing the lap-by-lap coverage for you with Caleb Rose and Rich Roy, bringing you the color commentary for the race here this evening for 15 cars on the track coming into tonight's race. And like we were talking about, taking a look at the Season 9 schedule on your screen. After tonight, we go down to one of the longest races of the season, down the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Cystic Fibrosis 150. Next Wednesday evening on May 20th, then the week after that, we'll get a little bit of Nashville sound on May 27th when we go to the Nashville Super Speedway. Then up to Michigan we go, up to Brooklyn. No, not the one in New York with a pretty solid pizza, all things considered. But we go into Brooklyn. And after that, we'll be going to Pocono, the streets of Long Beach, Bent Twig, and the rest of the everything else here. As we get ready to turn them on and grid them up for 15 cars. In order here tonight, there is nothing like the Fuel Racing League on a Wednesday evening. There's only one way to bring season number 9 into the fold here with a fantastic race here tonight.
Looking at the schedule as everyone grids up, Charlotte's going to be fun. It's going to be a longer race, as tradition, I believe. And, well, I think that running this race tonight will be a good test of patience.
It definitely will, and there might be a little bit of a discrepancy in the starting lineup.
Start your
We didn't run qualifying, that's why we have to reset the grid.
So I believe it should be Ike Durbin leading the field of green, or else
Nope.
I guess no. Oh yeah, we are going to be, because I forgot we cleared the black flag, so everybody is in order. We're still shaking off the rust a little bit here from our off break, but there is the 99 Joshua Mercurio for Warhorse Racing. Will lead the field to the green flag, and he is going to have the boss man behind the whole Warren Wentz Racing operation, right behind him with Blake Warren in the Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month, the number 8 machine right behind him. You got RJ Bishop there with Crystal Bennett on the outside. Emmy Schizzato and Kenny Campos going to be here as well. Tyler Stallhood will start on the outside pole. there in that RCA #1 machine. Plenty of opportunities for some organizations to get their first wins as organizations, and you cannot ask for a better product here tonight in Dover, Delaware. Fans packing the grandstands, and what a venue to hold the 2026 All-Star Race. No PJ1 or any nonsense needed here tonight. It's just some good old-fashioned racing. Pace cars down the pit lane. We've waited about a month here to ring in season number 9 as leading the field through the race's restart zones, Joshua Mercurio. Green flag is going to be out and away. There we are, and the Fuel All-Star Race is live here from Dover.
Boogity, boogity.
Crystal Bennett dropping in the back immediately. Not sure if there was a mechanical issue on that 84, but Joshua Mercurio quickly trying to run out of dodge, and already barrel rolling down the back straightaway. R.J. Bishop around. Well, that didn't take long, guys.
What?
Well,
We'll see if we'll get a reset out of that. I don't believe we will, but welcome to Season 9, guys.
Season 9, definitely starting out with a literal bang here.
R.J. Bishop going tumbling down the back straightaway, and the yellow flag flies.
didn't expect the monster to claim one on the backstretch of all places.
Oh, that looked a lot like Joey Logano back in 2009. Or was that one Busch race we had here where somebody went tumbling down the back straightaway?
All things considering, RJ's car looks relatively fine.
Hey, that's the miracle of moderate damage as a couple of takers down the pit lane. And this whole start, everything just got messed up here right off of the start. We'll take a look at what happened right from the drop of the green flag. As Crystal Bennett dove down, and that really kind of, that was what happened with Bennett. She net-coded a little bit there as we take a look at the replay. This from the start of the race, and I'm surprised the restart zone was that far up, but I believe it's going to be Emmy getting into RJ here. Going down the back straightaway. Oh, as Tyler got a little loose, and upside down goes that 48, barrel rolling. Fortunately, everybody was able to just get away from that 48 car, and wow. We'll get another look at it here.
Run from it, the bumper grab arrives all the same.
We'll get one more look here from the back straightaway cam. Bumper grab, oh bumper grab. And upside down goes that Ally Jimmy Johnson throwback. Not sure if the Jimmy Johnson scheme is helping out RJ Bishop a whole lot yet, as that's not the way that you want to open up the season. And hey, you know, Joshua Mercurio is going to lead the opening handful of laps in this race. That is indeed one way to kick things off here, guys.
Yeah. Nice avoidance by Ike Durbin, considering the 48 kind of just appeared in front of him.
That is,
But,
that is, how would you like to see this happening in front of you material if I've ever seen it?
yeah.
Well, welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to experiencing the Fuel Racing League from the broadcast here, guys. We have nothing but fun.
I'm glad to be up here other than in the wreck. I'll tell you that.
Oh boy. All right. Ready for round 2.
Green flag back out of the air, and already the outside lane stacking up, and Blake Warren spins the tires.
Oh, no!
Anthony Luckadoo spinning around. Guys, come on. What is this, Maverick? What are we doing?
Oh, Blake.
And that reminded me so much of Darlington last season, or 2 seasons ago, where that outside lane just doesn't get any sort of traction. And I know Josh is having PTSD throwback, or a PTSD of Tuesday nights. If you know, you know. Oh, my Lord. What a start to this race here, guys.
Well, we said this race was going to be difficult. Didn't realize it would be this difficult.
Yeah, that was just classic wheel spin there out of the gate. How about we'll go on board with Randall Coleman here for one of the replays.
Oh my.
As he knifed his way through that immediately. And, well, we're already under a second caution of the night. Great start here, guys. And there, you know, as a driver, Rich, there's really nothing you can do when you're just trying to jam on the gas like that, especially on a concrete track like Dover. You're just kind of helpless at that point.
That, and on top of just putting it in perspective, Blake probably wasn't even thinking about the concrete at the time. He's in second. He's in a great spot, probably thinking, I need to beat Josh into turn 1, and then just floored it. And of course, on cold tires, on a concrete track, probably tire heat's the last thing that would have came to his mind.
We'll go on board here with Randall Coleman in a moment. And then we'll go ahead and send things back down. But here we are on board with the Corey Day car. And watch him just knife his way through the chaos. Just got a little bit of damage on the rear end. No harm, no foul, but good Lord. He was able to drive away through the fire and the flames on that.
Good avoidance by him, and I'm just looking back in the pack. Looks like Lucado's spin was just caused by him and Emby trying to avoid the incident and choosing the same place to avoid it.
And it looks like everybody's going to be choosing the inside lane except for Randall Coleman. You know, Randall, fresh face here on the NASRN in terms of fuel, but you go over on Sunday nights. He's the commissioner of the Fast Racing League and was in the hunt for the Fast Renegade Pro Cup Series Championship at Watkins Glen just a handful of days ago. And here he is, running up in that second spot, and we've got a lot of drivers started towards the back that are up here on the outside lane, just trying to grab positions here. Luckadoo up in this fourth spot. Mercurio still in the first spot. How about Taylor Stolworthy driving up from starting midway through the pack? Where did that 101 car start? He started all the way back in 10th, and he's up to 2nd in the opening handful of laps. Well, third time's a charm here, guys. We'll see if we can get one green flag lap set in here. Pace car's in. Luckadoo spins the tires. Durbin jumping down to the low side. We made it out of the front straightaway. Can we make it down the back straightaway?
Everyone panics. Everyone keeps it clean to look what it looks like.
And are we going to get... Oh, Mercurio overdrove the corner. Here comes Coleman taking that spot away. And not only do we have a lead change, we've got a green flag lap log. We did it, guys. And Randall Coleman starting to set sail on the 17. Stolworthy moving underneath Mercurio. And now this is where things are really going to develop. How about Mercurio running the Larson line through turns 3 and 4? Not sure how that's going to work out for him, as Kenny Campo is going to take that final podium spot away. But how about these drivers inside the top 5? We got Randall Coleman, we got Joshua Mercurio, we got Kenny Campos up here in 3rd. We got Taylor Stolworthy, the dirt track and super speedway expert. Up here in this 2nd spot is Randall Coleman. Started this race via a provisional, trying to run away, drive that Hendrick Car 17 machine like he stole it. How about Trek Togger right here in the back end of the top 5? So many fresh faces, and all the competitive drivers here historically towards the back. You got Ike Durbin in there in 7th. You got Apollo Hyde, who's currently back in 13th as the 3rd to final car. Last on the grid, she's moving underneath the 1 of Stallhood. A little bit of a twitch there.
Second.
Kenny Campos up in the P2.
Now we're starting to see everybody just trying to get
Corbin
around.
Wentz goes around. RJ Bishop. Oh, here we go.
Caution number 3 is going to be on the speedway, and Luckadoo, Hyde, Corbin Wentz among the drivers involved, and well, we got a 5-lap green flag run out of that.
Boy.
Cautions breed cautions, and fortunately it doesn't look like, at least the cautions held off a little bit there, as Coleman is going to stay out here by the looks of it. And we'll see if we'll get any takers. Joshua Mercurio is going to come down the pit lane.
Part of me is wondering if he was running up high to save tires, but if he's pitting now, that defeats that plan.
I really don't know, because, you know, you would think that running that high would be a pretty big load on that right front, but then, you know, maybe he knows something I don't. You know, as a driver, Rich, when you're trying to run a high line like that in that Larson line, you know, you're just looking for a lot of grip in a very unorthodox place.
It is risk versus reward. Risk is, can I get the run onto the straightaway, or the reward is, can I get the run on the straightaway, being the back stretch or front stretch. The risk being, it's very easy to wall it.
We'll see what happened to bring out the third caution of the night, and Drew Fast, he just got way out of shape. And the two Warren Wentz Racing teammates get together, and there was nothing Apollo Hyde and Anthony Luckadoo could do, as they two both got together in a separate crash.
The Warren Wentz cars have, unfortunately, ran into each other more often than not.
They've got a lot of magnets on each other. That's something we've definitely noticed.
Once they figure that out, they should be fine.
Yeah, not a whole lot of brakes there on the 48, and secondary accident. Pretty much synchronized spinning down the back straightaway for Hyde and Luckadoo.
Looks like Hyde came up a bit.
Yeah, just trying to check up. Nothing that Luckadoo could really do. That's just the nature of this type of racing. Yeah, Hyde went up. Thought she was clear. Unfortunately, that High Times 13 machine tended to be in the way, so that is not exactly what you want.
Few developing stories, as the 99 has apparently sped in the pit lane. At least I'm assuming that's why he sent Ewell.
And that is going to set Mercurio pretty far back there as the pole sitter. But if you're Randall Coleman, you're looking pretty nice right now here in that 17 car. Right here as the race leader, and he has led the most laps here tonight this time by. He will actually tie Joshua Mercurio for the most laps led. Trek Tauger on the outside lane. Campos and Stolworthy back behind them. Green flag back out of the air. A little bit of a wheel spin out on the outside lane. You got RJ pounding the wall. Like you said, Rich, he looks pretty well for a car that went barrel rolling on the opening lap of the race. Has been involved in two-thirds of the cautions.
Saves it.
Wentz going around towards the back. He's able to save it, no caution. How about Kenny Campos back there in that second spot? And now really, we're starting to see the cream rise to the top a little bit. Apollo Hyde having a lot of trouble here early on in this running, trying to get some things going as we go on board with a 100. We take you for a couple of laps around the Dover Motor Speedway. Oh, into the outside wall goes Schizzato.
Oh, look out.
She's able to hold on to it for the time being, and that's going to be 3 spots picked up there by the 100.
Being a champion doesn't just mean being fast, it means also putting your car in the right spot at the right time in Exhibit A.
So now that 100 machine already, she was 3 seconds behind the 17. We'll have to see how close she is to trying to catch up to Randall Coleman here on this run.
Well, I'll give you a stat that I don't think the rest of the field wants to hear. Randall Coleman has won the last 2 All-Star races. and he is pulling away from Kenny Compass, who just set his fastest lap of the race at a 22.299.
Blake Warren, good
However-
recovery for him as he nearly warped into the 4-car. Pretty good recovery. You can hear the, and Kenny Campos from second smacks the inside wall. He'll keep it straight. And the penultimate driver on the grid, a hard shot driver's side. And that's now 2 instances of contact. 3 cars going around during this green flag run. And yet we remain green, and that'll put Stolworthy and Crystal Bennett inside the podium.
If you're Randall Coleman, you love to see this dog hit for second. I can guarantee you, Stalwart, the 101, is not paying attention in front of him. He's worried about what Crystal is going to do. Especially because I think Crystal has the fastest car.
Oh boy.
And she's going to get to the outside of that 101 machine. And now Bennett moving on up. How about Ike Durbin, the only entry from Millennium Autosport?
Oh, Stolworthy catches the wall. Through goes fast. Through goes Apollo Hyde.
And Apollo Hyde making her way
inside the top
through the
5.
grid like we were talking about. That whoa, I'm not sure if you guys saw that,
Whoa.
but that was
yeah.
a wicked lag there out of Blake Warren. He damn near went into the infield.
Oh, that's pizza.
That
we're
is not good there out of that 8 machine. He is bobbing back and forth. Manoa Hayes had some technical issues and spinning around goes Apollo Hyde. And the defending series champion loops it around in turns 3 and 4. Waiting for the whole field to run around. Ooh, here comes the leader. Coleman is going to zoom on by, and that is a very dangerous spot on the track for Hyde to be spun. And she's going to go a lap down, and she's going to need a caution to come out. Wow, you don't see that often here, guys.
Definitely not. Turn 3 is already difficult enough, and now with Ward. Oh, Durbin's around!
Oh, my Lord, into the 100, and there's going to be the caution.
No! Oh, that's not good.
Oh!
Boo!
Well, that was not a marvelous moment there for the Marvelous Racing duo. They both flip upside down, and the terrible, horrible, no good 26th lap of the race culminates in a flipping 100 Mazda. And Apollo Hyde has retired from the event. And Randall Coleman's probably largest piece of competition here tonight will finish in 15th. And that was ugly.
Wow.
That's a
was,
bull.
that's not pretty.
That was definitely not what you want here, guys. And pit road is open. Everybody coming down.
No, Compass staying out. So is Trek. Unless they're pitting next time by. That seems.
Well, there's
No,
no
there's no points
points on
on the
the
line,
line, so I'm not sure why you would do that. Again, no, they don't have any. They haven't made any pit
No.
stops, so I'm not entirely sure what the method of that madness is going to be.
Trek, I don't think. I may have hit on the first caution, but.
He did not.
Okay, then I have no idea why Trek's pitting. Especially, I'm not sure why Kenny isn't pitting, because he has damage from his single car spin. Unless they're trying to avoid the madness of pit road, which is understandable.
And it looks like that's probably what the case is going to be, is those two always staying out here to pick up a couple of laps led. But yeah, neither Campos or Togger, they are the only 2 cars that have not come down the pit lane yet in this race.
And here they come now.
And they will avoid everybody, but my goodness, we got to review this entire sequence of events, and that was just what could go wrong, went wrong for Apollo Hyde. It all started when she looped it around, running in 6th at the time. You know, we were so focused with the 8 machine that we just switched it over to 100, backed it into the wall. And then, fortunately, didn't hit anybody there. But then, next time around, as Ike Durbin looped his car, I'm not sure if there was any sort of contact between those two. Oh, I got very sideways going through the corner. Around went Apollo, and nowhere for Taylor Stolworthy to go. And that was pretty ugly. Tyler Stolhood also getting some collateral damage in there. So all three of the fuel admins cleaning each other's clocks.
Turn 2 is very tricky here, just because of how that corner is set up.
Definitely, and definitely proved to be a big trouble spot on this track, like you kind of mentioned pre-race so far here tonight, as well as through turns 3 and 4 as well, especially. But definitely quite a wild start to this race, and especially our latest caution. Definitely quite the series of unfortunate events there, but definitely unfortunate break there for Apollo Hyde. She's going to be out of this race, and you're talking about probably one of the biggest potential competitors there to the 17 of Randall Coleman. So definitely, I guess you all were talking about the winner of the last 2 All-Star races, the SVG of the All-Star race here. Definitely looking pretty right now, still out in the race lead even after that cycle of pit stops.
Oh, yeah, he is looking fantastic out there. Has led 21 of the 31 laps we have ran so far tonight. And, you know, after every caution, we're just cycling new drivers back to the front. How about RJ Bishop? He's going to restart in 4th after flipping his car on the opening lap of the race. You got Blake Warren back in here. You can never count out any of these drivers. Drew Fast up in here in that beautiful Valvoline 4 car. Totally no bias to that livery whatsoever.
It's a nice livery.
Yeah. Spent a grand total. You know, funny enough, it's actually a Natalie Decker base from her N29 AM racing car from last season. As green flag's back out, Luckadoo spun the tires, and Ike Durbin pinballing into the wall. He's able to keep it straight. And a lot of guys spin the tires here tonight as Coleman trying to get out of Dodge with Fast right behind him, and it's pretty much...
Once had a moment in the back, but saved it.
Corbin able to get that car rattled underneath of him, but, you know, if Tyler Stallhood is able to get around this 97 of Skizato, it's going to be the Fast Racing League 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If Stallhood is able to get around this 97 car.
Oh,
and around in the back.
Oh.
Kenny Campos loops it around. No cars, other cars involved. Mercurio way out of the groove. Cue the Eric E-Step music, and he's going to drop back.
That started in turn 1. Durbin got loose, was on the apron, and they're all trying to avoid him, and I think that's what sent Campos around.
And that's going to set Kenny right behind the 8-ball, but meanwhile, RJ Bishop chugging right now, catching up to this 17 machine. Drew Fast waiting in the wings. We know that RJ has been on par with the 17 car. Of course, they're teammates with Revolution Motorsports over on the Fast Renegade Pro Cup Series side of things. So they've been able to get things going. Tyler Stallhood trying to crack inside this top 5 with Emi Skizato right behind Blake Warren. Oh, and they're both going to get out of shape out of 4. Emi's got to be careful because this 8 car has been net coating all over the place. He's bugging in and out a lot.
The driver just being around a car blinking like that is scary. And because of that, Emmy is going to lose time just trying, because she doesn't know where the 8's going to be. I don't know if Blake's going to pull over because, if it gets worse, he might have to. But Emmy's best chance is just to find a spot and send it to get around the 8.
Well, he might, as
like
Warren
right
going
here.
up the track. Side by side for that 4th spot. Blake's still blinking in and out. Like you said, you know, when you're next to a driver that's like that, you're just kind of a ticking time bomb. I know from experience, you know, racing back when and Emmy with the blinker. You know,
They both blinked out.
if I'm Tyler Stallhood, I'm kind of starting to get concerned racing behind these guys. You know, if Skizato's starting to blink out a little bit, Blake's going to tap the wall off 4. No harm, no foul there. But you can see that 8 car, he is just net coating in and out of that bottom groove. We'll see if he's going to try and set up a counterattack on this 97 machine, but Stallhood, the fuel admin, looking pretty good right now at the moment in that 6th spot. Schizzato right now trying to get the charge, and speaking of the charge, Drew Fast up to 2nd. He's gotten around RJ Bishop. And a pretty good battle back in here as we go on board with the Ally 48 machine. Coleman starting to chug away a little bit at these drivers as he'll move his way around Kenny Campos in the 18. We'll put that Yardley Firestone automobile 1 lap down. We know how fast is on these early runs, but you get on these later runs, that's where it's going to start benefiting drivers like RJ Bishop and Randall Coleman. Because again, we're about 10 laps into this green flag run. We can do about 50 laps. You know, if we get a caution towards the halfway point of this race, that's going to make this fuel and tire question very interesting for a lot of these drivers.
Coleman has probably 10, 15 laps before he catches the next lap traffic, and that might be Drew's and RJ's best chance. Yeah, I have a feeling Anthony will probably move out of the way for Coleman, but just another car being there, it will slow Randall up just a tad.
And Fast that last time by, he was 1.7 seconds behind Coleman. This time by
1.8.
So already he lost another 1/10 of a second there on that 17 car.
I think Tyler spun because he is down a few spots, like a lot of spots actually.
He's all the way in the back. He fell from 6th all the way down to 10th. I don't know if he's spun. I think he may have just got out of shape and he's fallen back behind Joshua Mercurio, the pole sitter.
Racetrack just a little bit.
So. Oh
no!
Oh Blake!
A bit out of shape.
Oh Blake!
Oh boy!
Oh Schizzato! Oh Emmy! Oh please! Don't crash the game here, guys.
Is not cooling down one bit.
Just looking back, I think Tyler just lost a whole bunch of time. Oh dear.
Yeah, you're just trying to play it safe there if you're Stallhood. There's nothing but points on there's no points on the line. So you're just trying to keep the car in one piece relatively. But then again, you know, there's no points on the line. It's not an actual race as Blake. He got really into the wall there. And that net coating is certainly starting to hinder his performance. He has already lost quite a little bit of time on that 97 car. And we'll see if Crystal Bennett and Taylor Stolworthy are able to catch up to this 8 machine. But his cystic fibrosis 8 car is certainly been in and out here of reality. And how about this battle back in here for the 6th and 7th place spots between Bennett and Stolworthy. We saw these two up towards the front end of the field a little bit earlier on, and they're putting on a pretty good show, nose to tail down the back straightaway. It's going to get a little bit of time getting used to Stolworthy in the 101 car compared to the 1. And Bennett, as she's going to bang off the wall, they're side by side through the corner.
Well, the good news is it's the same scheme, so.
Yeah.
Slide job.
Oh, nearly too sloppy of a slide job there, and Bennett on the crossover is going to say thank you very much. I'm going to take that 6th spot away, and Ike Durbin looking to pounce on the 101 car.
A lot of great battles out here so far tonight.
And that's the beauty of Dover, is that these long green flag runs and this tire wear, you know, it's not nearly to the degree as we'd see typically at a track like Darlington or Michigan where you got high levels of tire wear, but it's just enough tire wear where you're able to go pretty much anywhere on track. There's a lot of grip, a lot of areas to run your line. And, you know, midway through the field, with everybody trying to battle with one another, it puts a lot, it's really fun to watch this midway field from 4th on back, but up front, top 3 have pulled away from everybody as Coleman already, he is about 4 seconds in front of Drew Fast. And that 17 machine is absolutely rocketing around. And that is not necessarily a Corday car. I do want to point that out. I believe, is that technically a Kyle Larson car?
Byron.
Oh, William Byron. Oh, of course.
Randall is catching lap traffic now.
Togger in
as
the
we
inside of him.
just him catching traffic is going to slow him up a little bit. I don't think it's going to slow him up 4 seconds, but it might help Drew fast, especially if Corbin. Actually, Corbin's probably going to get out of the way.
I'd imagine all these guys will move out of the way. That's the difference between online racing and offline racing here in 2003. You go to offline, and we'll see it this weekend here with the the Mission Barbecue Cup Series race here at Dover. Lap traffic certainly gets in the way because
Mike Durbin, and he's collecting Mercurio. Caution flag is out.
the yellow flag's going to fly and having to make evasive maneuvers there with a 1 and the 88 cars.
Coming in hot.
Okay, Steve. Well, what did we say would make this race interesting? 55 laps to go. Ike Durbin's going to pull behind the wall, but with 55 to go, that's going to put these drivers very close on fuel. And that's going to make this so interesting in terms if this race keeps going green the rest of the way. But this is another chance for guys like RJ Bishop and Drew Fast to catch up to Randall Coleman and trying to end that streak here of 2 all-star races in a row for Coleman. If he wins here tonight, that would be a natural hat trick for this 17 machine. Like you said, Rich, the SVG of the all-star race. And he is running spectacularly so far tonight. 45 laps led of the 56 we've completed. That's a lot of front-end damage on the 1 car of Stallhood. I believe he may have ran into somebody.
Let's see. That's going to be a day done, it looks like. He hit the pit wall.
Oh, that's not what you want.
But yeah, with Randall, having the ability to basically be wherever you want while everyone else is fighting for position behind you, especially on these restarts, definitely is helping him.
And looking at the replay of the caution, it just looked like Durbin just lost it out of turn 4. Pinballed back up the wall. Kenny's able to get on by, and Mercurio punches him in the mouth. Fortunately for these drivers, the Stallhood just came in there screaming. Fortunately, moderate damage is on, so Mercurio's going to remain in the race. Same cannot be said for Ike Durbin. And, you know, coming into this event, if you told me that Ike Durbin and Apollo Hyde were going to finish towards the bottom of the barrel, 14th and 15th respectively, I would have said that you were absolutely insane, but that's the that's the deal that we've got here tonight. As we'll see Tyler Stallhood hit the pit wall here, way too fast, coming in, and pounds it.
And I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand that. It's under caution. He's not. I mean, he might gain a position on pit road, but there's really no need to rush it, especially under caution. So that's a bit of an odd mistake.
Again, it's a very slick pit road to get down.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if that might have damaged anything internally, but as far as visual damage goes, Tyler is back out on the racetrack, and at least from what I could see, number 1 machine looks pretty clean.
That's surprising, considering he was...
Moderate damage is just a godsend in this game. You know, to my knowledge, I'm trying to think of any NR leagues that run realistic damage other than maybe Hobo. Maybe Bomb Squad runs realistic damage, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, Rich, you'd probably know the best out of any of us.
I mean, Fuel runs moderate, obviously. I know Essex and Coral run moderate. Maverick runs moderate, I believe.
You kind of need to run moderate for them.
I think season 1 they ran realistic, but I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, everywhere I runs moderate, with the exception of like the one special demolition derby event I ran somewhere that was you were supposed to kill the field, but that's besides the point. As we get lined up for the green flag. All right, look who's up in second. The guy who flipped on lap 1.
That would be a story. if RJ Bishop would be able to come back and win this race, doing the flip and win. You know, I feel like we've had that before here.
I think we've had.
I feel like Apollo Hyde has flipped and then eventually won the race. I don't know if that's never happened in the All-Star race, as far as I know, as green flag's back out with 43 laps to go, and Coleman didn't get the jump on the inside. Bishop did.
If you're going to beat Coleman, this is your best chance.
Drew fast sliding up the track a little bit, and RJ just trying to utilize that roller coaster ride through the opening set of corners. Up the track he goes. Randall able to power it down even better. And he is going to clear for the race lead off the corner. We got one car bugging in and out. That was Blake Warren, who's still experiencing that net coding issue. But now this is going to be the fight with 41 laps to go. If this is going to be the rest of the race, this is going to be a battle for the ages here between the two Revolution Motorsports teammates from Fast. But they are not friends here on the track here tonight. They are not teammates. There's a lot on the line. There's bragging rights. There's whatever trophy Tyler will probably come up with at his job later this week. But Randall Coleman trying to make history and win 3 All-Star races in a row. And RJ starting to slot back a little bit there. Corbin Wentz had trouble right off the start. He's just trying to get the heck out of the way. And Crystal Bennett battling here for this top 5 run, trying to get underneath the 97 of Schizzato.
It's into the wall. Get up there. Oh, boy.
Oh, get out of the way. Just hug on the wall. Hug the wall, Corbin. Hug the wall. Do not pull an Atlanta. Oh, my Lord.
Oh, brother. Yeah, the post-race meeting is going to be interesting between Warhorse and Warren Wentz.
The two
racing.
Warren Wentz racing owners just about taking each other out. And fortunately, we remain green. Oh, this has been a race of all time, ladies and gentlemen. That we can assure you, this has been a race of all time. As now that we're at the top of the hour, we'll welcome you back to the 2026 Fuel All-Star Race here with 37 laps to go. Here on tonight's broadcast from the Dover Motor Speedway on the North American Sim Racing Network, Trey Wright, Caleb Rose, and Rich Roy. On the call here tonight, late in the running at the Dover Motor Speedway, it's been Randall Coleman, who has led 53 laps on the night and has built himself up to a 0.7 of a second lead over RJ Bishop, who's starting to fall back into the clutches of Drew Fast, Emi Schizzato, and Crystal Bennett. Trek Togger down the pit lane. 13 cars remaining of the 15-car grid. Ike Durbin and Apollo Hyde, the only 2 cars knocked out of the race. 9 cars make it 8 cars now on the lead lap as Blake Warren has dropped back to the last car on the lead lap. And something may be amiss on that Lyosha 17, or the 60 machine, I should say.
Yeah, that LaQuoya looks like he has a flat tire.
And that LaQuoya Suburban Cowgirl Steakhouse automobile has had a rough night tonight, and it looks like he's going to be going at least 2, maybe 3 laps down, depending on when that LaQuoya will come back out on the track. But now the lead up to 1.1 seconds. Togger will exit the pit lane. That'll put the 60 at least 2 laps down, if I'm not mistaken, on the monitor.
Schizzato has taken 3rd from Fast.
Really going at it back here.
A lot of really good battling, like you said, Caleb, here. As Taylor Stolworthy has dropped back. He's in his own zip code. Same thing with Joshua Mercurio and Blake Warren, who's currently 8 seconds off the back end of Randall Coleman. And I believe Trek may have gotten a speeding penalty. He's in the grass doing a little agricultural work going into the pits, so the tough night will continue there for that Togger Racing Unit automobile.
As a driver, I'd rather have these issues now than, say, next week at Charlotte. This race doesn't count for points, and it's a good way to get all the cobwebs off, because I don't think Talga runs anywhere other than this league.
He's ran a couple of races in the Fast Racing League, and speaking of the Fast, we'll take a look at the rest of the Season 9 schedule here later on, but taking a look at the upcoming broadcast schedule here on the NESRN. just a couple of days on May 16th. We'll be back here at the Dover Motor Speedway, part of our weekend coverage here at the Monster Mile with the NR2003 Mission Barbecue Cup Series taken to the track. Then on Sunday, May 17th, the next day, we'll be down in Hickory, North Carolina, just a hop and a skip northwest of Mooresville, North Carolina, for the season opener exhibition race from the Hickory Motor Speedway for the Fast RPCS. We'll have the official points season opener here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on Wednesday, May 20th for the Fuel Grand National Series for the Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month 150. We'll have the season opener at the Charlotte Motor Speedway as well for the Fast RPCS with the PWMIA 600 sandwiched in between for the Mission Barbecue Cup Series. And on Wednesday, May 27th, we'll be at the Nashville Super Speedway for race number 2 for the Fuel Grand National Series. And then 2 days after that, we return to the Fuel Sportsman Series from the Talladega Super Speedway. Here on your home for the Fast Racing League and the Fuel Racing League, and of course, all sorts of NR2003 offline content as well. Here on the North American Sim Racing Network, a busy, busy, busy next couple of weeks, especially the closer we get to the summer months here, guys. And we've got so much on the horizon here on the NES Around, of course. You've got all the online stuff, but we got plenty of offline stuff as well. And Emi Schizotto offline. She spins and loops it around in turn 2. Drew Fast also goes around. Those two didn't touch, so I'm not sure if that's going to constitute as a multi. It will not.
Schizotto's still stuck up there in 1, I think.
Yeah, that is in the apex of 1 and 2. She's got to be careful. Oh, boy.
Oh, it's Auger.
And Trek out of shape. I'm not sure if that's going to DQ the 97 for driving the wrong direction. And now looks to do. Going to get into the 60 car. And that will be a caution, I believe.
And it will.
Yes.
Lap number 76, the Chaos lap here with 25 laps to go at Dover. The yellow flag right back out, right as I'm trying to advertise what we've got on the horizon offline-wise. Oh, boy.
Gonna put Talger out of the race.
And here we go, back onto the pit lane. We're going to get this race restarted with probably just north of 20 laps to go. And this is going to get interesting here, guys.
Well, we're going to have fresh tires and 25-ish, no. Yeah, 25-ish laps left.
Probably
so,
about 23, 22, I would gauge.
So, prepare for some mad scrambling.
Some late race shenanigans. Remember the point of no return. Lap 96, 5 laps to go. And Talger has officially brought that Lakoya behind the pit wall as well to bring us down to 12 cars remaining. And it looks like Randall Coleman's going to win the race off the pit lane. Nobody's going to be gambling for 4 tires, but how about Crystal Bennett? It's going to be moving on up into that 3rd spot, but that is such a tough break for Schizotto. She's going to go a lap down, I believe. And we got to take a look at what the heck happened here, because my goodness. What a race. What a dang race here, guys. This whole incident got started here on lap 74. Just going to watch this 97 car. You know, she and Drew Fast were bouncing off the wall there quite a bit. Loop that car around right there in turn 2. And Drew Fast also going around, picking up 2 spots like it was nothing there was Crystal Bennett. And watch Emi. You know, she's just trying to find a way around just to get down.
That is such a helpless feeling. There's oncoming traffic, but you need to get going soon. And at some point, she just risks it, in which that sent Trek into the wall.
Yeah, and I think Luckadoo is going to get into the 60 car as well. Yeah, he clipped the wall and spins that 60 car. There was nothing intentional. I think he was just trying to get that 13 car slowed.
Yeah.
Wow.
It looks like he hit the brakes and then the car just didn't turn.
It stepped out underneath of him by the looks of it. And we'll get one more look here at what happened, particularly with the 13 and the 60. As, oh, I didn't even notice this. Luckadoo actually got into the 17 of Coleman. Right before this, so this was an absolute godsend here for Randall Coleman. He got punted into the wall as everybody was trying to evasively move around this 60 car, and Randall was right in front of this accident as well. And fortunately, they went up the racetrack and away from him, as meanwhile, green flags back out in the air here late in the running. I hate when that happens, with 21 laps to go coming around to the final 20. And Crystal Bennett up into that second spot. Stolworthy in the mix as well.
Trying to salvage something from Marvelous Racing.
Yeah, you know what? A podium finish in the All-Star race after flipping that car as well. We had 3 cars flip over, and 2 of them are in the top 5. 19 to go.
Does Crystal Bennett have anything for the 17?
She's also ran one fast race, so she knows how to race Randall Coleman. Raced at the Bristol Motor Speedway earlier on this season. Stolworthy in a pretty good spot as well. And, you know, for RJ Bishop, I think he's just trying to get anything that he can here. He's really been the closest competition to Randall Coleman, and the caution flag is out. Big mess. Stolhood redamage. You got Campos involved, and the yellow flag back out. 7th caution flag of the evening. And Randall Coleman just can't quite get out of Dodge. Here we go again.
And the rest of the field breathes a sigh of relief.
Well, that might be the end of the night for Tyler Stallhood. He can barely see out of that one car. He's just trying to keep that one machine straight. And we are back onto the yellow flag. Nobody. Oh, Drew Fast is going to come down the pit lane. And, oh, my Lord. How did Joshua Mercurio not hit the pit wall there? My goodness.
Wow.
This is going to be interesting, as Picato almost... okay.
He's going to drive around. He's got the lucky dog, I think, even
cool.
though I believe he was involved in that accident. No, he drove around that. He's going to get the lucky dog, though.
As we approach 10 to go, we're going to see if old tires will be the downfall of Randall Coleman.
Oh, my goodness. So this is what happened with the caution flag. He had... I think Kenny Campos may have blew a tire. He was braking sideways right at, oh my Lord. Another head-on hit there for Tyler Stallhood. That's the second time he's gone headlong into some sort of wall in this race, and he had nowhere to go. Tyler's had a lot of hard hits in these last couple of weeks here, guys. You go back to the hit that he had at Albuquerque in the Sportsman Series race where he Alex Bowman the car. My Lord, he almost went out of the park there.
Well,
definitely did a couple frames there.
The good news is that he is still running somehow.
You know what? I ain't going to question it. Nobody else should question it. But
that car has been through it tonight.
You know what?
Yeah,
and that team was
American
able to
Steel.
bear bond it back together. Corbin went spinning under caution. This has been a race here tonight. And Corbin has also been, he's had an adventure here tonight as well. He's still on the lead lap, or yeah, he's on the lead lap.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the lead lap.
Everybody's still in the lead lap.
So everybody taking either the
Back in
wave
lead lap
around.
97.
So almost everybody is going to have a chance here with 14 laps to go in this event.
Keep an eye on... Actually, I think the 99 was the first car off pit lane. Keep an eye on him, because warm or fresher tires and everyone in front of him, he's going to be interesting to watch.
Blake Warren blinking out, in and out. Like you said, Mercurio is going to be the first car on fresher tires, but going to be Randall Coleman, who has led 74 laps here tonight, will lead them back through the gears. 8 laps to go until the point of no return. Can we get to the end here? Green flag back out in the air.
Ooh.
Not the greatest of jumps on the outside for Crystal Bennett. She's going to fall back with the 101.
Oh, Mercurio's around.
Oh, no.
And Mercurio on those fresh tires going around. Stolhood is also going to go in.
Oh, my goodness.
And the caution flag immediately back out. And just as that Lap Car Enterprises team was able to piece that car back together, it is promptly destroyed for the 4th time tonight. And the 2 pole sitters in this race have taken each other out and put us back under the yellow flag for the 8th time this evening.
Russell better give that team a raise after this race.
Oh, Anthony Liccato, he might have a blown tire. He is up in turn number 2. Not sure what the deal is there for the 13, but nobody coming down the pit lane once again, and we shall see what has put us back under the caution flag for yet another time in this race. And Mercurio, oh, he stepped out there going through 1 and 2, spun the car, nowhere for Tyler to go. And that was an interesting netcode crash, guys.
Yeah. Looked like the 99 touched the apron. That sent him, and I'm willing to bet this isn't a caution if the internet had other ideas.
That would be my guess, and you can hear the net coding there as he was going on by. Well, Randall Coleman is just trying to kneel out until we get to the final 5 laps of this race, but you get down to the nitty-gritty, we're going to get probably 10 laps to go until we get to the green flag, and that, oh my lord, this is going to turn into a good old-fashioned shootout here in the first 8.
I would not put it past us if we had one more caution.
Cards.
We got enough time for one more caution.
Yeah, the best chance for anyone to get past Coleman is on this restart, and if I'm assuming Taylor's going to go the opposite of the 17, he is probably. Oh, we're not going to green this time. But if I'm willing to bet Taylor's going to floor it, and again, like happened early on this race with Blake, just forget about the cold tires. Actually, never mind. We are going green this time. Looks like we weren't choosing.
So it looks like. I guess we're just gonna get, since we're this late in the race, because. So I believe since it's gonna be.
So just for you folks watching at home, for the rules, if we have 3 spins on the restart lap, it's immediately single file.
So we'll go here for single file restarts for the rest of this race, and that is really going to benefit this 17 car. Right off of the hop here, it'll be exactly 10 laps to go when we go back through the gears, and Randall Coleman, who has led 77 laps here tonight.
Still got to nail this restart.
Got to get one good restart, and you got to get to that 5. Got him 5 laps to go, point of no return. Green flag back out in the air. Little wheel spin there from the 100, like you said, Rich, but he's able to hold on to it. And that's going to jam up everybody behind him. Randall saying thank you very much. Blake Warren up the track.
13 and
no caution. Nope, caution's back out.
There it is.
9th caution flag flies on the evening, and thanks to Clable for giving us the not only the updated ticker, but the opportunity for me to not have to make more than 7 caution graphics, where everything is just automatic on screen. And this is going to set up a classic shootout here, guys, because this is probably going to take us down to maybe 7, maybe 6 laps to go.
Yeah.
Just don't say that the other way around.
Yeah, please.
Oh, I'm not saying that. Oh, definitely not.
I already used that one joke at the very beginning of the broadcast. We don't need to reuse them.
We'll take a look at what happened And you know, it's funny that you bring that up because I work retail at Kohl's.
I feel bad for you.
You know what? It's not terrible. I typically do Amazon returns as we see what happened. Oh, that was Corbin got sideways, nowhere for Luckadoo to go. But this mother came in, and she brought in 2 items. She brought in this book about Easter and this 6-7 workbook. Like it was something you get at like a dollar store. Like here, it's fill in the 6-7 coloring book or something like that. So I made a joke about it, and she was like, "Well, I'm actually a math teacher, and I actually kind of ruined 6-7 for these kids as we've got a quickie yellow here." Suffice it to say, she basically told the kids that the 6-7 meme was a way for grown-ups and teachers to subliminally get kids to love math, and that completely shot down the meme for the kids like it was an F-14. So,
I should use that for my actors.
But anyway,
for reference, I am a stage manager. But
7 laps remain in the race here tonight. Quickie yellow is wrapped up. Here we go. Green flag back out of the air. Take 2. And Stolworthy with a better jump. Not able to get the ledge there on the 17 car. Crystal trying to get aggressive. Blake Warren getting aggressive. He's going to spin around. Got arrow loose underneath the 4 car. No caution just yet. RJ Bishop moving into second. Everybody scattering like ants. 1 mile until the point of no return.
Oh, Corbin went over to the inside wall on the front straightaway. Still, we stay green, and Randall Coleman is gone with the race lead already.
Oh, yeah, he has got more than about maybe a second on RJ Bishop here in this time by 5. Count 'em, 5 laps to go. We are clean and green until the end of this race. And unless something happens to that 17 car, Randall Coleman is going to be getting the hats thrown at him here tonight in the first state. He's got Anthony Luckadoo still on the horizon.
Oh, there goes Schizzato.
And Emmy Schizzato spinning around. She was running towards the back end there in the 5th spot. That'll be an extra couple of spots picked up for her. For everybody else, I should say. Trying to spin that 97 car back around, and now tons of traffic in front of this 17 car. Coming around to 3 laps to go. You got Luckadoo, you've got Blake Warren, you got Corbin Wentz. He is getting loose. And it is an absolute minefield around Randall Coleman, who is just trying to get out of here. That's going to allow RJ Bishop to make this into a solid battle. Warren into the outside wall. He is just trying to hang on here. You got Schizzato, you got Corbin Wentz going up the hill, and Randall Coleman thinking, I just want to go to Hickory. I just want to go to Victory Lane here, and I just want to go to Hickory on Sunday. That's all I want right now. 2 laps to go. He's still in the middle of so much traffic. Warren up the track, Wentz up the track.
The worst part is these lap cars are all fighting for position themselves. They're not going to be as inclined to get out of the way as, say, if they're single file or by themselves.
Wentz up the track once again. RJ Bishop trying to force the issue. He's bugging in and out. White flag in the air. What a save there out of RJ Bishop. And now starting to pull away finally is Randall Coleman.
He's in the clear.
No lap cars out in front of him. And that looks like it's going to be doing it. Way up the track goes the 8 car, off turn 4, and a chaotic race will come to an end. Call it 3 in a row for Randall Coleman. He wins the Fuel All-Star race.
Well, that was entertaining.
Had everything and the kitchen sink thrown at him, but still comes out on top. What a dominant performance from Randall.
RJ Bishop, after flipping his car on the opening lap of the race, will end up finishing in second. Crystal Bennett will round out the podium. A good recovery for Joshua Mercurio after spinning late in the race. He's going to finish in 4th. And Taylor Stolworthy rounds out of the top 5. And Tyler Stolhood, after everything he went through, will be the final car on the lead lap, finishing in 6th. And we are so back, ladies and gentlemen. 13 cars, rather 11 cars, ended up finishing the race. Drew Fast exited the race late in the event. It's Randall Coleman. And William Byron, HendrickCars.com 17 machine burns it down. And he is your winner here at the Dover Motor Speedway.
What a night.
I told you this track was entertaining.
Oh, entertaining is an understatement. This put on a fantastic show. And you know what? 9 caution flags on 100-lap race. On paper, if this was a points-paying race, I'd say, you know what? It's not exactly the most organized, but it's the All-Star race for a reason. There's nothing on the line except bragging rights. There's no points. Nothing you got to really worry about here other than getting that octane checkered flag first, and that's exactly what we saw out of Randall Coleman here this evening. He is your winner of the Fuel All-Star race here for 2026 on the evening. But that is just going to be the midway point of our coverage here tonight. So you'll hear from the top 3 drivers after claiming their podium finishes here tonight. But guys, right before we get into the post-race interviews here in just a couple of moments, your final thoughts on a great race here at the Dover Motor Speedway.
Well, it just shows, like we said earlier, it shows the cream, the best of the best rising to the top. This track is again difficult, not impossible, but it's difficult, slick, and we saw how some drivers struggles while others, like Coleman, simply just drove the track how you're supposed to drive it.
Well, it's definitely a lot of fun for us to watch, and I'm looking in the Discord, and RJ showed, hey, I flipped over on lap 1. I still finished in second. He'll be one of the 3 drivers that we'll hear from here in just a couple of moments. But Caleb, we are so back here for season number 9, and if the All-Star race here tonight at Dover was any indication, this is going to be probably our most exciting season yet.
Oh, absolutely. Tonight was definitely a wild start here to season 9 of the Fuel Grand National Series. Like I said on lap 1, it started off with a literal bang, but just this race as a whole, honestly, was quite the bang to start off the season with. Definitely quite fun. And like you mentioned, if it was a points race, it'd definitely be a little bit messy, but hey, no points are on the line, just bragging rights and anything Tyler might cook up later on in this week. So hey, I'd say let's go for it. Fun race altogether here tonight. Like I said, had a lot of fun battles out here on this racetrack, Dover, just with how the track is laid out and everything, just how treacherous and tedious it is to drive. Definitely made for some very, very fun racing. And hey, like you're talking about the cream rising to the top here tonight, that was what we definitely saw out of the 17 of Randall Coleman. An absolutely dominating performance. And like I said, as he crossed the finish line, had pretty much about everything and the kitchen sink thrown at him, but still managed to come out on top. What a way to start out the season, and definitely going to set us up with a really good foundation as we do head into the rest of the season, as we head into the first points-paying week of the year.
And it's certainly going to make things very interesting. We'll go over the rest of your results later on here, but first we're going to set things up for our post-race interviews here tonight after a wild, wild race here at the Dover Motor Speedway for the Fuel All-Star race. And we'll be back here in just a couple of moments here on the NESRN's coverage of the Fuel Grand National Series here at the Dover Motor Speedway.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot of time.
The Fuel All-Star Race for 2026 has concluded as we welcome you back here to tonight's coverage. The Fuel Grand National Series on the North American Sim Racing Network. Trey Wright, Caleb Rose, and Rich Roy bringing you the action. We'll hear from our podium drivers after Randall Coleman dominated to win the 2026 Fuel All-Star Race. We'll bring you into our podium drivers, starting with the third place finisher. Here tonight, driver of the number 84, Lowe's Home Improvement, Dodge Charger. Crystal Benny, got a copy of us here in the broadcast booth?
Yeah, I got a copy.
There we are, and just trying to get the team speak loaded up, and there we go. So a very up and down race for you tonight. But starting, coming into this season and going out of last season, last year was a little bit of a down year for you. You were able to scrounge together some solid top fives and top tens, but you weren't able to get that second career win. Coming into this season, what are you looking forward to personally as a driver here in your third season of competition here in Fuel?
I don't know. I'm really working to just try to have races get put together here. Because last season I had so many races where I was running top 5 to top 3, sometimes higher, and everything would come crashing down, whether it's an engine failure or something else catastrophic happening. So I guess the main goal for me is to just keep being consistent and just hope to God that it actually works out for once.
Well, consistency is key, and of course, coming into tonight, you definitely had an up and down race. You started towards the front of the field in qualifying, if I'm not mistaken, and you were able to survive a lot of the chaos thrown your way. Dover is definitely one of those tracks where chaos is certainly on the menu a little bit more than others. But overall, what was your initial reaction coming out of this race here tonight, and your result with a solid third place run?
I'm not really sure. Dover's always been one of my better tracks. That's where I got my first win. But overall reaction, I'm just happy I was able to finish where I should have finished. I wasn't expecting to go back up through the field, but I guess fate had other plans. Everybody kept killing each other, which was a very welcome sight to see. Very welcome sight that I wasn't actually involved in any of it. So I guess we're just going to take this move forward, be happy about the day.
Well, that's all you can really do. And then moving on to the season, we already know that you were talking about just trying to get a little bit more consistency on your side, but there's certainly a robust schedule here in season number 9. You've got your 1.5-mile tracks, but you've got a street course again, like we saw a couple seasons ago. You've got a couple of really oddball tracks. What are you looking forward to track-wise as an opportunity for you to potentially try and get that second career win?
Really, I'm split between Charlotte, Michigan, and Anchorage. Charlotte and Michigan have always been really great tracks for me, and Anchorage, I was around testing the track when it was created. I know the track like the back of my hand. And I somehow always find a way to be up towards the front of that one. So I'm probably banking on one of those 3.
We'll definitely have to watch out for this 84 car next week at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's certainly going to be a fun one, and it was definitely a fun one here tonight for us to watch, and it looked like it was fun out there to race with everybody else. But Rich or Caleb, you got any questions for our third place finisher?
Okay, well, I'll let you go first.
I don't really know if I got any questions. That was a crazy race out there. Definitely got to give you a lot of props for coming home there in the third position. So fantastic job out there tonight, Crystal. Drove an absolutely great race and cannot wait to see how you do this upcoming season. But sure, it's definitely going to be great.
Thank you. I'm hoping I'm able to put my money where my mouth is here.
Speaking of the upcoming season, you have a few new additions to your team, Lapcar Enterprises. How are you looking forward to running with new teammates with the upcoming season?
Well, it's funny you bring that up. I think we're gonna have a really good roster here. Granted, you have myself and Keon, who have been the mainstays since the team was moved over to Fuel, but we have Drew Fast, who's been consistently running top 5. He's been amazing these past couple seasons. And then, of course, we have Tyler Stallhood on board now, who is probably going to be one of the front runners for the title. Just all things considered, he's usually running right up there in points, around top fourth or fifth, I want to say. So I think we have a really good roster put together.
You guys definitely do, and Lapcar Enterprises is certainly going to be a team that's well on the horizon of a lot of positive things here, especially with the two big additions to your roster. Of course, you got yourself and Keon Daly, who have been really putting together some solid races here tonight. We'll look forward to see how you guys are able to race here in Season 9. But Crystal, before we'll let you take a well-deserved nap after an incredible and exhausting race, we'll give you the floor to thank any sponsors you want. If there's anybody you want to shout out here on the NASRN, the floor is yours for a third-place finisher.
I don't know. I want to thank Dodge, thank Lowe's. I want to thank Keon, T-Stoles, and Apollo. Those were the 3 that really coached me a lot when I was learning how to drive. Mostly Apollo. Without their help, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So big shout out to those 3 right there.
Well, definitely a lot of talent here in the Fuel Racing League, and you were in the Race of All-Stars. You were able to get that third and final podium spot here tonight. Congratulations to you, Crystal, and go celebrate with your team and try and buckle down here for what is going to be a great season number 9, especially for you guys here at Lapcar Enterprises.
Thank you. It's going to be exciting.
User left your channel.
That was Crystal Bennett, driver of the number 84 machine for Lapcar Enterprises, the Lowe's Home Improvement Dodge Charger for LCE. Third place finisher here in tonight's All-Star race. We'll bring in our runner-up finisher here tonight.
User
driver
to your channel.
of the number 48 Ally/Lowe's Home Improvement Automobile. Your runner-up finisher here tonight, RJ Bishop. You got a copy of us here in the broadcast
Howdy,
booth.
campers.
Well, certainly it was definitely a howdy beginning to the race for you tonight, but before going into just the absolute chaos that was this evening and the certainly up and down and kind of sideways race for you, coming into this season, you had your last season, Season 8, you had your best statistical season where you got your first career win. You were able to finish top 5 in points. I believe you edged out Emi Schizzato in the last race for third.
I think I finished 6th in points, I think.
I couldn't. Alrighty. Well, still, hey, solid top 5, top 10 run for you in the point standings, all things considered. And coming into this season, it's the second year for Warner Wentz Racing, and you're, of course, being really the tone setter for this team. What are you looking forward to as, just this team entering its sophomore season?
More wins, obviously, but trying to be more consistent throughout the season. Towards the end of the last season, I didn't finish that well in a couple of races, but hopefully I can be more consistent and get a couple more wins.
Well, it's certainly going to be hopefully looking for a little bit more consistency than you had here tonight, and you couldn't ask for probably a worse start to the All-Star race than flipping down the back straightaway halfway into the opening lap of the race. How was the racing really out there throughout this whole 100-lap run, other than really just how he saw it up here, chaotic and a ton of fun?
Well, for me, it was difficult because wrecking on lap 1 didn't help, but I battled through that and tried to keep up with Randall, but I kept on overheating my tires, but it is what it is.
Well, hey, there's no points on the line for a reason. It's just a race for fun. And then, of course, you and Randall were going toe-to-toe for pretty much the entirety of this race. If I'm not mistaken, you guys are teammates over in the Fast with Revolution Motorsports, but What was it really just trying to fight with him, especially as a driver with the amount of talent he's had that's won the last 3 All-Star races? How tough was it trying to keep up with him?
Oh god, it was very difficult just trying to keep up with him. I just tried everything I could to keep up with him, but it just wasn't enough.
Well, you certainly look like the cream of the crop of the fuel regulars here tonight. And Rich and Caleb, you got anything for our runner-up finisher here tonight?
Definitely have to say that, like a Del Grizzle, that was a wild race, a wild start for you, especially there flipping down the backstretch on lap 1, almost reminiscing Joey Logano's flip here back in 2009. But definitely have to give you a lot of credit for the recovery you put on there throughout the race, driving all the way up and eventually finishing in the 2nd position despite that. What was going through your mind after that lap 1 accident? Did you think, man, I'm out of this? Or were you still in it
I
to
felt
win
like
it?
Ricky Bobby. I was flying through the air. This is not good. Surprisingly, I got no damage out of that flip. I was like, how the heck did I get no damage from this?
RNG?
Oh.
RNG giveth and taketh.
First
Beauty,
off,
moderate damage.
can have that good luck charm for the upcoming
No.
season. Okay. Second off, once racing and war horse racing, effectively operating under one team, effectively gives you half the grid to work as your teammate. How do you see that going into the future, at least for the season?
Hopefully, it's good for everyone that I'm helping. I'm pretty sure I've helped all of them in there with the setup at least, but been great actually. Been working with them, so I'm thinking better off with them instead of just being by myself, to be honest.
And then one final question before we'll give you the floor here to thank all the sponsors. But, you look ahead to this 11-race slate, a very robust schedule here in Season 9. You've got your mile-and-a-half tracks. You've got Iowa rounding out the schedule, but you've got Anchorage as a super speedway. You've got Bent Twig in there for whatever reason. And it's a very diverse schedule here. What are you looking forward to as races to try to get the win? And what are you looking forward to as the season overall besides just trying to get more wins?
To be honest, just to prove my setup skills just a bit more. But hopefully I can run better at the super speedways, especially because I do not like super speedways, but it's whatever, and I'll try and improve on that.
Well, you're going to have I believe 1 or 2 cracks at the super speedways here this upcoming season, but before then, still got a long way to go and a short time to get there before then. And it's going to be a fun season for us here on the NASR. And it's going to be a fun season for you guys driving down there as well. But RJ, before we spring you loose, we'll give you the floor to thank any sponsors you want if there's anybody you want to shout out for our runner-up finisher here tonight. RJ Bishop, the floor is yours, my man.
Thank you. I would have thanked Ally for saying, why not do this wonderful Jimmy Johnson throwback? What a fitting place to run it at Dover. But and I would have liked to thank Hendrickars, Nos, and Kroger, and all my teammates that are behind me and just trying the nonsense of my setups.
Well, certainly something is definitely working in your camp as you guys were able to get a solid 2nd place finish to get the job here done tonight. 1 position short, but hey, of the fuel regulars, you are at the top of the charts, and congratulations to you, RJ. We'll see you next week at Charlotte for the Cystic Fibrosis 150 next week in just north of the Queen City.
Alrighty, see you then.
User left your channel.
That was RJ Bishop, driver of the number 48 Ally Bank Automobile, your runner-up finisher here for tonight's race. And we'll get our winner here in just a couple of moments, but this is certainly going to be a fun season of competition here, Rich, with the the diversity of the schedule.
Yeah, and like say the Super Speedway Series, where you really only have to be good at one type of circuit. This one, you have to be, with this schedule in particular, you have to be good at all sorts of circuits. Basically, who might dominate one week might not dominate the next week. So everyone's gonna have to be on their toes.
Everybody definitely is, and it's going to be a big storyline to follow on here, and of course, this is following the modern NASCAR schedule, the way that we've got it as well. Just how realistic everything is and how fun everything is. But finally, as we'll bring him in here into the booth here in just a moment.
User
There
was
we
moved to
go.
your channel.
An absolute dominating win here for the driver of the number 17 HendrickCars.com automobile, Randall Coleman, your winner of the All-Star race here tonight. Got a copy of us here in the broadcast booth, bud?
I got you.
Well, it's certainly a different place than we're used to seeing you. We're used to talking with you during these podium finishes and these winners interviews on Sunday nights. But you came here on a Wednesday night, and you came, saw, and dominated for the third consecutive year in this All-Star race. First and foremost, congratulations, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I didn't know that I won all three of them now, so I guess I'm Mr. All-Star, right?
You definitely are. You're kind of the SVG of the All-Star race, as Richard Roy coined you on the broadcast. But overall, we don't really see you on the Fuel Racing League. We typically see you over on the Fast Racing League on your side of things on Sunday nights. How does the racing from a fast transition over to being able to drive in Fuel, especially where you've got a lot more cars, a lot more drivers, a more wide variety of skill, and how does that talent really translate over?
You know, it's kind of like two different animals. On Sundays we're racing fixed setup, so everybody's kind of on the same page. Over here they do a little bit different with open setups. Um, my personal background, I originally came from leagues that raced open setup. So, having that experience from the past and whatnot really, really helps to come over here and maybe run one or two races with these guys and be competitive with them. But I can honestly say the last 10 laps was hectic. Most of the time you're racing with people, especially at fast, that are willing to kind of get out of your way, but at the same time, then over here with the 5 to go rule, where like it's a point of no return, and you got people who might accidentally get into one another and they're wrecked, and you don't know where they're wrecked at, and or how you're going to, move around to get past them and not get hit by them either. It was a little bit hectic there, but we wound up being able to maneuver around and stay out front there and wind up winning.
It definitely was hectic, and after a dominating race to just literally drive through the chaos and the minefield of the lap-down cars here, we were joking on the broadcast. You were probably just in your head saying, I just want to go to Hickory. I just want to go to Hickory. I just want to go to Hickory. And it was certainly a dominating performance by you here tonight. But, looking over this season, we'll hopefully see you. We don't typically see you here in Fuel a lot. And, looking at how just robust this upcoming schedule is, can we expect to see you here on a couple Wednesday nights and over on Sunday nights and Fast? What can we really expect from there? Because it's a tale of two different leagues that are very close together, very intertwined, and it puts on some damn good racing products here.
Yeah, Tyler's done a pretty good job over here of how he's done things, how he's run the show. I know he's got Ike and Apollo there with him, helping with some of those series, and they run a number of series, and we're over there just running one series. So it's a lot easier to focus on one compared to like two or three. But I don't know. I don't know if you'll see me back here or not. My schedule is usually kind of busy. Certain circumstances allowed me to be here tonight. Tyler was yelling at me for about, I think, 2 weeks now. Yeah, no, actually, I think he started last week. He's like, he really wanted me to come over here and race, and I didn't even honestly think about it. And I was here, and then he tagged me again today earlier, and he said, "Come over here and continue your winning streak." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know I won the last two." So, I knew I won some races over here at Fuel. I didn't know that I won both All-Star races that they've had so far. So, kind of glad I did come out. Got 3 in a row. That's a really cool thing to do. But I don't know. It depends on what the schedule goes on with and everything. But I do love open setup races. I do miss racing some on open setups. So maybe one day.
Well, hopefully so, and we'll definitely be looking forward to seeing you here in the near future whenever you're able to. And we'll definitely see you on Sunday nights here, starting this Sunday night at the Hickory Motor Speedway for your guys' season preamble before the second segment of the 2026 season for the Fast Renegade Pro Cup Series. But guys, you got any questions here for our dominating winner of the All-Star race for just third win in a row here tonight?
Definitely have to say that was a absolutely dominating performance indeed. All the field did get bunched up quite a bit there over the course of that race. Once you got the lead, pretty much never looked back, and definitely have to ask what was going through your mind there towards the latter part of the race. Of course, the cautions just kind of kept on coming there, and eventually, once we did get to the point of no return, it kind of just turned into a bit of a minefield there with all the lapped cars. So, what was going through your mind there the last couple laps of the race, and just how did you keep your composure as this race did go along? Because that was an absolutely dominating performance, and even keeping your head on after all those restarts definitely makes a bit of a challenge.
So yeah, the biggest thing is the restarts. You know, the restarts. You had a lot of people having that tire spin and stuff. Um, Luckily enough for me, being around for as long as I've been in this community and stuff, you get a little bit of experience on how these tracks run and stuff, and you get a little bit of knowledge knowing that like on especially at Dover, and it's almost every Dover track that's out there, that always going to have that tire spin. So. Um, I would just want to give a really big shout out to, I mean, he's no longer with us, but Danny Hardy. He's one of the guys that I run a lot of setups from in the past. He took me under his wing and kind of guided me in the open setup stuff. Um, and I was one of the lucky people who, well, honored people, I should say, to get some of his setups and to be able to hold on to those from the past, and to be able to come out here and just grab something like that and come out here and make 2 or 3 tweaks on a different type of Dover track compared to what he ran back in the day, um, and still have something really really good and something really really fast, makes all the difference in the world. But I was telling them a little bit ago, you know, the biggest thing was people starting in first gear and they're spinning those tires. With that setup, you could start first gear if you really wanted to, if it came down to the end of it, not have a whole lot of tire spin. But I stayed in second gear for the most part. And it might not have been as fast as what everybody else was trying to go on the restarts, but once you shifted from second to third because it was stable, that thing would go through turn one. And I don't know if anybody's seen that or not, or just watched, but it would set sail through turn one, just being able to shift from second to third. And I feel like that was a little bit of an advantage because if you're starting in first, you got that tire spin, you're going to be loose shifting up into second. Then you're not going to carry as much momentum going into that turn when you have to shift up in the third gear. So that gave us a little bit of momentum. You know, we had a couple people wind up drawing there side by side with us, but once we hit that turn and we could really, really run that bottom and kind of keep your foot in it for the most part, I think that made a really big difference to get out front. But like you all said there, towards the end, the minefield, people wrecking, you know, I was up there kind of letting everybody know. I was like, hey, I'm coming towards the bottom. Like, I'm going to come to the bottom. I'm going to go to the, you know, that way, kind of guiding them to try to give me that space. Didn't know if any of them would. I know there at one point in towards the end of that race, one of the cars drifted up the track and got into me and got me in the wall. We didn't get any damage or anything from that, but you know, we had a decent lead, so it didn't really hurt our momentum. But then the very next thing, there was a wreck in front of us with that. So um, it was definitely a minefield. A lot of people were very courteous there, especially towards the end there when I was kind of like, "Hey, I need to go to the bottom," or "I'm going to the bottom," and they kind of gave it to me. But you never knew what anybody was going to do, so it was a little bit hectic.
Well, first off, fantastic race tonight. You seem to, or you dominated it basically. In that middle stage, there really wasn't much going on, at least for the battle for the lead. What was your main focus in the middle of the race before all hell broke loose?
So pretty much there when we wound up getting out front there, and we had a decent, I think we had a decent side lead. The biggest thing was to not tear up my right front. I watched it quite a bit. I knew like I could probably go a little faster if I really wanted to, but I also knew I would be going to burn that right front up. And the biggest thing about this type of track is you always want to try to save that right front as much as you can. Um, so being able to back up the turns a little bit more because we had a decent lead. Back up the turns a little bit more, take the turn a little bit slower into the center, and then kind of gas off of it. Um, that really paid dividends. And it was just kind of like, just make sure you hit your marks, like back off at a certain point, get down to 146, 147 before you gas back up, and just kind of hitting that same rhythm all the way through. Um, it allowed you just to run consistent laps, and we had a little bit of fall off, but it wasn't really a whole lot. So being able to be consistent also, and knowing that I was saving that right front, uh, made a big difference, especially in that long run.
Well, the persistence definitely paid off for you guys, and you're able to dominate and get the job done here for your third All-Star race win in a row. And before we'll let you loose, Randall, well, if you give you the floor to thank any sponsors that you want, if there's anybody that you want to shout out here on the NASRN airwaves for our winner here for the 2026 Fuel All-Star Race. Randall Coleman, the floor is yours, my man.
First off, I think I might have to change my paint scheme for over at Fast if I race like that over here. Not my number though. We can't change the number. But yeah, no. Tyler last minute got a hold of me, said something to me about it. So I want to give him a shout out for convincing me to come over here and race. Had a lot of fun with it. Kind of didn't want to do the qualifying stuff, but at the end of the day, he convinced me to come out race with everybody. So huge shout out to him. Like I said earlier, huge shout out to Danny Hardy for having those setups, making those setups, working with me all through those years. He's not with us anymore, but he still carries a big name around here in this community. His son HB still races from time to time with us. So, got to give him a shout out. I guess I got to shout out HendrickCars.com, even though we're normally, for my race team, we're running ColemanCars.com. So it's a little bit different there, but, they kept us on. We got them on board here for tonight, so got to go out there and get them a win. Got to give a shout out to my girlfriend once again. It's a Wednesday, so I'm over here with her. She doesn't have to have me over here racing, but here I am racing, and so shout out to her for letting me come over here and do that. Got a big day tomorrow. Get surgery on my finger in the morning, so to be able to come out here and race, get another win before that happens tomorrow, that's a really cool thing.
Well, I'll wish you good luck on the surgery tomorrow, and we'll wish you the best of luck as you guys are able to get the job done here tonight, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you on Sunday for the season opener for Segment 2 of the Fast RPCS. And thank you so much for coming on here and getting the job done here tonight, and we'll see you We'll see you in here a couple of days here on Fast.
Sounds good. Yeah, Hickory should be a lot of fun. I looked at it the other night, and it's a fast, short track. So, looking forward to that one. Should be a lot of fun.
Definitely looking forward to that one, and we'll see you guys. We'll see you Sunday night. Have a good one, man, and congratulations.
Thanks.
User was moved out
That was
of your
Randall
channel.
Coleman, driver of the number 17 HendrickCars.com. Chevrolet Camaro, your winner here of the Fuel All-Star Race for 2026 here on the North American Sim Racing Network's coverage of the Fuel Grand National Series here at the Dover Motor Speedway. One final look at the night sky here at Dover. Quiet track, Dover Motor Speedway here for tonight's coverage. And your final thoughts before we get out of Dodge here, guys, tonight, because what a way to open Season 9.
Like I said, definitely what a way to open up this season here at Fuel Grand National Series competition. That race was definitely a lot of fun. Like I said, had a lot of great racing, a lot of great battles just about all through the night, but an absolutely dominating performance there out of Randall Coleman. I have to see if we do see him at any point in the upcoming season. At the very least, hopefully we might see him next year at the All-Star race once again, looking to try and keep that streak going for a potential four-peat. But a really fun night overall here from Dover, and really looking forward now to seeing how the rest of the season will play out. Definitely expecting a lot of fun in the upcoming season, though, as is usually the case here in Fuel, especially here in the Grand National Series.
Oh, definitely. And, of course, Rich, your first time being up here in the booth here for the Fuel Grand National Series, you certainly had a fun time here. What a race for you to be up here for the first time. And what were your thoughts just being up here for the opening time of your career? And What are you looking forward to for this season? Because it's going to be a boatload of fun.
Well, first off, thank you for having me up here. That race was something. It is different watching a race from up in the booth than actually driving it, because while driving it, you're worried about 400 different things, and now you're up in the booth and you get to see, oh, that person's doing blah blah blah. That's how they're gaining time. But this is a great race to watch, exciting one at that. Even if the battle for the lead was kind of doled out in the mid stage, the battle for the podium spots were entertaining at that. And I can't wait for the rest of the season, because if this is a preview for it, then hopefully we will be up here more often, not just commentating.
Well, it's certainly going to be a lot of fun, and overall, looking ahead to next week at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, it's going to be on. It's not going to be Friday, May 2nd. That's actually a typo on our current graphic right now. It's going to be Wednesday, May 20th at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's going to be our next broadcast here on the North American Sim Racing Network for the Fuel Grand National Series at least, but we've got plenty of action coming up here. We've got Mission Barbecue Cup Series action on Saturday afternoon. On Sunday evening, we've got the season preamble, the season preseason race for the Fast Renegade Pro Cup Series from the Hickory Motor Speedway. That's going to be a boatload of fun. But before we get out of Dodge here tonight, we'll go down the order of the cars the way they finished here tonight. Here for the Fuel All-Star Race for 2026, Randall Coleman leading 88 of the 100 laps to win by 1.5 seconds over R.J. Bishop, who finished in second. Crystal Bennett rounded out the podium in third. Joshua Mercurio rounded out in the top four and fourth, and Taylor Stolworthy caboosed the top five. He finished in fifth, I should say. Sixth was Tyler Stallhood, seventh was Emmy Schisato, eighth was Blake Warren, ninth was Corbin Wentz, and 10th was Anthony Luckadoo. 11th was Kenny Campos, 12th was Drew Fast, first car out of the race. 13th was Trek Togger, 14th Ike Durbin, and rounding out the 15-car field, Apollo Hyde in the number 100 machine. But that is going to do it here for tonight's broadcast of the Fuel Grand National Series here from the Dover Motor Speedway. And thank you all so much for tuning in here to tonight's broadcast. Next week, we go down to the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina, and down in Concord, North Carolina, just a hop and a skip away from the Queen City, here for the Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month 150, here on your home for the Fuel Grand National Series, the North American Sim Racing Network. That is next Wednesday at 8:50 p.m. here on the NASRN. But on behalf of Caleb Rose, for Rich Roy, for Tyler Stallhood, Apollo Hyde, everybody that is involved with the Fuel Racing League, my name is Trey Wright, saying so long from Dover, Delaware. This concludes tonight's broadcast of the Fuel Racing League here on the North American Sim Racing Network.